We've seen it already in a lot of the other regions that they don't play exactly like we do here at the LCK, but we've definitely seen a little bit of the differences, a lot more Pantheon, a lot more other stuff, which we will definitely get into. But first off, let's talk about the LCK. We do have the standings here after week 8, and we can take a look at that now. And it is a pretty good spot that we're in right now, as we're actually going to take a look at playoffs.
And yeah, with these 6 teams locked in, order still to be determined, but these 6 teams are the ones that are going to go into the playoffs. Very similar to what we had last time around, where if you make it to 1 or 2 first or second place in the regular split, then you get a bye for the first round, which is great for your Worlds points, which is really what you're looking to get in case you don't end up winning the split. And then with how it's looking right now, it'll be Sandbox, DRX, Damwon, KT, but I would be shocked if we don't see at least some switch up there. And personally, I would love Damwon to face off against DRX. I think that Live Sandbox KT was a banger every single time, and I really, really liked the DK DRX matches. Beryl personally has a really big grudge. He stays up till like 4 a.m. every time before every Damwon match, so best of 5 of that I think will be really exciting.
Yeah, and I think there's a decent chance that we do get it, but we will have to see. Of course, everything can still shuffle towards the bottom of round 1. Yeah, as you were kind of alluding to, Live Sandbox are 2 wins ahead of everybody else that's in round 1 at this moment in time, so they're in slightly better spot. And speaking of which, Prince tied with Ruler and Zeus for first place here in the POG standings.
Yeah, and I was talking to some LPL people yesterday. They've had a ton of mid MVPs. Not here. We're a bot lane. It's a bot lane meta. Yeah. It's a bot lane and then Zeus and Zeka. But aiming, Prince, Ruler, all of them playing out of their minds.
Yeah, it's kind of insane to see what our AD carries can do here, and you know, we still have other guys on the list like Gumayusi and Duck Dom. They're not even on the top standings. Teddy. These guys are insane AD carries, but they don't quite make the cut just yet, which is just insane because they're so good. Let's take a look at the pick ban percentages that we do have here so far after week 8. And you'll notice that Callista is the only one that's 100% presence.
And she's gonna stay there.
Is that the win rate? No.
The Herald both being buffed.
Callista is a 8%. What?
Champion sticking around. She gets some nerfs on 12-15, which we're not gonna see in the LCK at all. So it doesn't matter. So for the remainder of this week and as well as for playoffs, expect to see that be a 100% pick and ban. The Wukong, even though he dropped off slightly after his initial nerfs, has reclaimed the spot as being one of the highest pick banned champions. The only one that is doing, I think, truly abysmal and is not that strong as the Gwen. Talia's win rate is relatively low, but I do think it's a case of teams leaving open Talia against weaker teams, which as a result kind of...
I feel like Talia should be higher. Yeah, I actually really like the Silver rework this time. Silver, I used to like playing Silver a lot. See it get some love is really nice.
And also not even above 50% win rate. So actually the Silver counter pick has been working out a lot. And it doesn't even get picked all the time, even when it's left open. So definitely a huge change for week 8. Here are the big high win rate picks, and surprisingly this week we get Azir on the list.
Yeah, and Ari is another one that kind of, both those two are surprising because we saw them like, I think at like 25-30% win rate in previous weeks. Reason of that is of course I think Azir is just a premier mid laner that it just depends whichever team gets him. The team that's most likely to win will pick Azir first and then win with him. Ari though, very pick game dependent. Zeka, Chovy obviously look incredible in the pick. Vikla really likes it, but has been kind of hit or miss outside of that. And Lulu just benefits from the fact that Sivir now exists. And every time that Sivir gets picked up,
Poppy's broken.
And then it's Lulu Sivir, which is great. And then of course, Callista Mimu is going to remain banned because it's busted.
Yeah, it's really good. Don't let it through. We've seen that over the course. In the beginning when we were seeing Mumu and Callista, we're like, I don't know, it seems
Filios is 0%, you shit.
Don't let it through. Some bait picks here. It's pretty big. Aphelios at 0-6 did not have 1 win last week. You already talked about the Gwen, but also the resurgence of Renekton coming in here alongside of Talia. who has not had too much fun.
I think Renekton's good, unfortunately. Yeah, I think he's actually good. I think that win rate's going to keep going up. He's been picked in some awkward situations. We've seen
No, don't pick Renekton, please. What the frick? Don't pick that shit.
Execute that build well, I think
What?
maybe it can work in competitive. Otherwise, Renekton's the pick.
No.
It's going to be strong. Skarner's suffering a little bit here, but I think that is very much still. It's a good counter pick, but don't blind it. It's really, really punishable. Karthus was the most notable one that we've seen, but there's been a couple of other champions that can really make him unhappy. And yeah, the Taliyah win rate to me is the most surprising one. But for example, I know two of those are Kwangdong Freaks games. Fate got the champion twice, and do feel that the sample size of that one is relatively low.
Absolutely, and guys, this is, I think, the biggest part of this week is that we're moving into 12.14.
Oh yeah.
So if you've been watching other regions, you've already seen the strength of the dragons coming in. You've seen the health of the second Shelly. We've seen a lot of different picks coming through, so we can definitely get into the patch notes here for 12.14, starting off with Gangplank.
Yeah, Gangplank nerfed early, which is good. He's already been dropping in priority. I'm just very, very happy.
Gangplank is still good. No way.
Now a scaling pick, like he should be, instead of a I win lane early and then kind of coast free items. Crit. Now building anything but crit is actually troll. Now that they added so much.
Pros, they like to build Trinity Force instead of like that Prowler's Claw, Solar Baka build. Guess you have more health, but I feel like
is in the game at the moment, which I think is quite cool.
the Prowler's Claw SS River build will be more damage.
Good, and I don't think we will see her at all. Wukong changed a little bit, so power of his passive tuned down, and then in trade-off his base health regeneration. So I don't think it will make a big difference for like why the champion's picked, why he's good. Gonna just remain the same way. And the champion picks are kind of, or the champion's buffs and nerfs are kind of cool. Most notable, obviously, is the Pantheon buff, which means that now theoretically he's a jungle mid flex pick, and LeBlanc buffs, which a lot of our AD carries will be very happy about.
Yeah, we got some Jarvan buffs as well. That means, I guess, here in the LCK, maybe Life plays it more. Other than that, I don't know. I saw a little bit of it. I think it was Wonder was playing it in the top lane in the LEC. I'm like,
hey, Emax with Scorch and Airy in top lane.
Yeah. Anyway, champion nerfs here.
Is the game gonna start? Yeah.
Guess what? They're still gonna get picked together if they're open. Yeah, the AP scaling nerf is nice, but Yuumi still is Yuumi, so even though it feels a little bit less oppressive, I think it was 5% AP scaling, which in the grand scheme of things doesn't matter that much.
Yeah.
And Zeri got nerfed, except W.
Bonus damage taken off of her ult. Yes, you heard that right. On each auto, but you know, it's not enough to really hit her where it really counts. I think
W.
the LCK.
It's W.
Yeah.
It's the laser.
And it's the mobility. Taking a look at some of the other nerfs here, there was a big base health nerf to Renata, which I found pretty interesting. Gnar also got nerfed, which I think should definitely affect us here in the LCK.
Yeah, these nerfs are kind of boring, but generally base health and AD nerfs are huge for how a champion is able to actually win games. You can see that like 2 AD nerfs can have like a 1-2% difference.
Yeah.
Really is huge. As Campung Chainsword nerfed because of the Campung Chainsword Sunfire Rush, which has been built numerous times. Sunfire though, not actually that bothered if you are a tank or if you actually do stack notable health. So I think it's a light tap to the item. I think Campung Chainsword now is just
Chanter items though.
Yeah, I know. Less enchanters. Hopefully, maybe. It's not looking good thus far, but we can dream.
Wow. Way to stamp out all hope, but yeah, it has not looked good. They did get hit across the board on all their items and a bunch of nerfs. But we have more. There are sustain nerfs across the board and buffs to stuff like Scorch, and this should make laning more important.
Guardian, hugely nerfed, very big nerf. Sustain overall nerfed, so this is actually just Chovy buffs with extra steps. The only nerf that I think is I really liked conditioning. It is a bit of a boring room, but it was one of those rooms that
have
a really big impact.
I'll be waiting for the official match. I don't think I'm quite interested in all these.
Really brought down. Trying to
chill
make
now.
sure that if you actually hit something in lane, you can't just go second wind, door and shield, cookie, and be fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That sounded like some kind of cheat code in a
Well, it might be.
game.
It actually was. Yeah. Don't forget time warp time.
Second win cookie, and you get the special car. Let's take a look at some of the other runes. As you mentioned, second win, the heal did get nerfed, and of course the more aggressive stuff like sudden impact did get buffed. Less damage reduction on the exhaust, less target damage reduction on the challenging smite, which is pretty huge as well.
Yeah. And we've had so many changes already, but these are the actual big ones, which is the Drakes. All Drakes take way longer to actually take down, and the effects got buffed immensely. Secondly, 200 local gold, extra swing for Rift Herald, so it takes you 3 plates now at the very least to trade even, and arguably even more, depending on where the team can drop Herald, if they can actually get a lot of value off of it. So overall, I think these changes are meant to incentivize a little bit more early skirmishing because there's been a lot of objective trading. Whether that will be the case, we never know. Maybe teams will be like, now we just don't fight. And we'll make sure you don't get it, but we're not getting it either.
Yeah, I think the LCK has a big chance at kind of just looking at all these changes and saying, no, we're not ready for this. Let's take about 3 weeks and maybe we can
That will happen, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe some teams will take it to heart. We do have some more aggressive teams here now in this season. Let's take a look at some of the changes that we do have to the rosters. Speaking of which, there is one change. Yep. It is Perfect.
And interesting thing about Perfect is he didn't actually play in Challengers, playing behind Castle there. And he is kind of a similar situation to Peter, where supposedly he was already getting ready to join the main team. Don't expect that he will start over Rascal, mainly just to be able to scrim with them, to get more experience, because I don't think Rascal warrants subbing out. But, you know, for a player themselves, I think changes like this are always really cool. He gets to actually experience the LCK.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's good for Perfect. Might not see too much of a change in the LCK. Let's take a look at the schedule for Week 9, because this can be huge, especially starting with today.
There are 4 different picks for match of the week. That really says it all. There are so many matches that are either impactful, like Sandbox T1, for how do we look at these teams going into playoffs. T1 trying to set themselves apart as that 1-2. Live Sandbox trying to show that they're actually part of the upper echelon. But then also DRX KT, huge implication for the standings. And might even see these two teams face off if KT can overtake Sandbox. So overall, I think really, really fun. A lot of exciting moments as my faith and lacking faith of Sandbox actually somehow both working out.
If you just had faith, you would have been 10 out of 10.
I know.
Just have faith, Chronicles.
I got punished.
Dilly-dallying, going back and forth.
I did it this week again as well. I'm just going to give it out already.
Yeah, but, I mean, seriously, it was kind of hard to know the form of DK in that first match. Taking a look at this, actually, Atlas win for DK over T1. I think that's really the biggest one.
I like it. I think it's fair. I think you can make that argument based on the form of the teams we've seen thus far. And then Nongshim Kwangnong again is a classic coin flip.
It's down the middle.
Yep,
Play-by-play's probably going to get boomed again. Guys, for ticketing for the summer finals, if you are here in Korea, of course, make sure you do go to Interpark and get those. It will be on August 28th, starting on Sunday at 1:40. And it's not in Seoul. I think it's about an hour-and-a-half drive away-ish. So make sure you're planning for that. Make sure you get all the information before you do decide to make that trip. And make sure you get the tickets if you can. Earlier is better because it is incredibly difficult to get tickets here in Korea, as we have seen before. But that's going to do it for the pre-show. Thank you for joining me, The Chronic. And we are going to go over to the intro and the casters for the beginning of the LCK.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final week of the regular season here for LCK 2022. I'm Atlas. I'm joined by Wolf here for the first day of the week, and every day's a banger, Wolf. Every single day. We're blessed.
It's really... I always say this, I feel like since I've joined this tournament, I'm like, the last weeks of regular season, they're usually really boring, a lot of meaningless matches. We're very lucky. We just keep getting lucky, all right? And this one is arguably more exciting than some of the last because sometimes we've had these really tight matches to decide, will this team maybe squeak into playoffs? Do we even want that? No, we're talking about where these teams are going to stand before we go into playoffs, what the seeding will be, and whether some of these teams are going to get qualification rounds for Worlds. So a lot on the line, and it's on a new patch. So a big preview for what playoffs is going to look like.
Yeah, exactly right. This is, of course, 12-14, and therefore the playoffs patch, and so very, very important, as, of course, was illustrated in the pre-show. Let's get into our points of the match, though, and get into this first one, as I imagine most people have their Giga Chads at the ready. But Fred and Brian are up against Gen.G, who are about, trying to break multiple records here. The highest differential in a single round, and also the highest game score at the end of a season. This is another time where we're having the conversation about will that plus 29 be broken, much like we were with T1 in spring.
Yeah, and the expectation is tonight they will look for the 2-0 to push themselves 2 points closer to that. They're on a 9-match winning streak, only really hindered by that one Dom1 Kia game on their road to first place. Definitely favorites tonight. We'll see how they want to draft and what they show us going into this new patch. As for Fred and Brian, we've called them the Giant Killers, the King Slayers. Will they break expectations and play for an upset? I think there
ain't no Giant Killer anymore.
Can they pull it off against a team that doesn't mess around, a team that doesn't hide strategies? They just play standard, and they beat you in less than 25 minutes. So a tough matchup here for Fred and Brian.
It absolutely is. Of course, Fred and Brian, a team that hasn't been able to take down Gen.G since they became an organization, since the franchising in 2021. So this would be an absolutely huge moment for Fred and Brian, but we can... there's a lot of ways to say it's extraordinarily unlikely that Fred and Brian win. This is one of them. As the General Nut versus the General Look, I'm not sure about that one, but... on this new patch, I wonder who is going to be able to take the advantage. Of course, I think the smart money's probably on Peanut, just because he has always been very good at adapting just in general. And now, he's going to be all that more important for Gen.G as far as these Dragons, these Heralds, and it's going to be very interesting to see where the priority is going to lie on this new patch.
Both of these junglers will, of course, be more reliant on their teammates to take objectives as well, with the increased stats to the health of the Dragons. Taking it by yourself puts you way more open to being caught, and it gives the enemy team a lot more time to react. So very likely we will see, as was mentioned on the pre-show, a lot more priority picks on the bottom side of the map, especially for the early game, to keep those junglers ahead. As Lehens is nearing 3,000 assists, he'll be the 4th player to do so if he can pull off 15 tonight. And usually in a best of 3 like this, we say pretty likely, but especially when it's the favorite. But I don't know, it might be so one-sided potentially tonight that it's not likely, but we'll have to wait and see.
It depends how bloody it's going to be on their road to picking up the 15 assists for Lehens. We'll see whether he's going to be able to get there, like you say. I think, the likelihood's feeling pretty good, but it all does depend on whether or not Fred and Brian are going to do some Fred and Brianing, which may involve slowing the game down a whole lot and denying Lehens his ability to get there this time around. However, I don't think he's going anywhere in the next little while, so he should be able to make up those 15 assists. Let's have a look at some of the team stats here. A lot of firsts on Gen.G's side. Sort of what happens when you do a whole bunch of winning. And Fred and Brian, middling, but actually not as bad here in round 2 as you could expect.
They really are turning it around. Unfortunately, as we've mentioned many times, it's too late, but still. Gen.G, the way more dominant stats in the early to late game. But hey, Fred and Brian, it's better than it has been. Let's just say that.
Yeah, exactly right. But let's introduce Gen.G to Lolpark here. They also have the home team advantage, Wolf, if it couldn't get any more dire for Fred and Brian on their chances of winning this game. This is a team that has looked just better and better and better as the season has gone on. We were kind of expecting it after this roster was announced at the beginning of spring. Took some time for them to get it all together, but now that it has, man, they are so scary.
I am so disappointed also that, you know, at the beginning of the season, we had the preseason press day, or media day, where all the teams show up and every team votes collectively on who they think the strongest team is going to be. Everybody voted for T1, except T1, of course, who can't vote for themselves. They voted for Genji because they didn't want to vote for Damwon. There were a few other media people who were like, okay, Damwon's going to be the #1 team. Basically, Genji got the T1, I'm not voting for Damwon vote out of all the teams, and I think it should be less surprising to everybody with now that this has actually come to pass that they are #1 based on the fact they didn't have to travel to MSI. They built synergy in spring. It's a super team, and now I mean they are undisputed #1 in the standings.
Yeah, maybe the most winningest team in LCK history as well. Like they're gonna even out with that game score if they pick up a 2-0 this evening. But you can hear that the fans are ready for the upset. They're ready for the Kingslayers to come out and deal out their punishment. I don't know whether it's going to be today. I personally don't have any faith that it's actually going to happen. Not making any bets or anything like that. However, they often play to their opponents.
They really do.
And if you want
to,
play to an opponent, any of them, it's Genji.
Yes.
They have definitely looked the best. So I'm hoping that at least we get some competition out of Fred Brion here.
Not live.
Brion's
Is
last
she
match
live?
against
Are you live?
Esports
Yeah, not live.
definitely was an eyebrow raiser for a lot of people. Their game 1, 7,000 gold lead, they tossed away by repeatedly trying to push the issue too far, flanking in inopportune moments. Then in game
Still
2,
surprising there's only
sometimes missing
300k
the mark on weak
subscribers.
conditions in their composition. But I think that series is more indicative of what you were saying, is playing to the strength of your opponents, because it was not indicative of their past several series. They even recently, of course, took a game off of T1. So
Fred
Brion, a team that really is difficult to track what their current form is because it varies so wildly. They will, of course, not be in playoffs, but stealing a game here could upset Genji's record.
No, exactly right. They are certainly playing to spoil a lot of the stats and things like this. Our key player matchup will be Morgan versus Doran, the Lord versus the guy that's now been able to pick Akali a bunch of times and looks so much better here in round 2. As you can see, some firsts up on the board as well, and this was where the majority of the Genji question marks were, but Doran really has sort of silenced a lot of his critics.
And those his laning stats here are pretty good. CS difference at 14, gold difference at 14. But I think those stats might be misleading if you don't know that the team plays so well around the top side of the map. I think that's one thing that Genji does. Not every team will just say, okay, we're going to play Poppy and dive repeatedly with our Kalista lane or our Lucian lane. And Genji's a team that will say, we'll do that a little bit, but then we'll also keep Doran on the top side a little bit protected. He's not got a lot of isolation on the top lane. He's not always left on an island. So the other gold difference you see there in CS difference is because his lane opponent has been dove repeatedly by Peanut, who makes an impact, frankly, everywhere. It's kind of unbelievable how strong this jungle player is right now.
Yeah, and he was playing around the bottom lane a lot in the earlier parts of the season, but has moved towards this top side where Doran has received the rewards of a lot of Peanut's attention. I think a lot of what we say is just going to come back to talking about how good Peanut is, to be perfectly honest, which is a crazy thing because we've been talking about that for many years here in the LCK, but it really does feel like a renaissance here for the guy.
Start the draft, baby.
Himself, and we are on a new patch and a time where laning feels like it's going to be a bunch more powerful. Maybe that means that Renekton first pick is just going to come through here for Fred Brion, and they're going to see whether Doran can be put in his place by Morgan up there.
It's really interesting because Doran also had, you know, a really good Renekton game against Damwon Kia, and I think he's looking very strong on the pick too, nearly able to turn that game around, that Karthus game that we, you know, all got to enjoy last week. But Morgan, definitely a player who plays it a lot more historically. So the priority on the Renekton, I think, very high in this series compared to where it would be on average. I'm not trying to say that
look at that
first
face.
Or anything
That beautiful face.
Be touched in the draft, but certainly something to look
Damn
at.
boy, he thick
players,
like me.
as it is growing in popularity. We did see that even Zeus picked it up last week. Didn't like the build on it.
Damn
as
boy,
much,
he
but
thick.
Yeah, we may not necessarily be prowling as much, depending on what the draft is going to look like. Genji will choose the blue side. It's been the most common. I talk about their blue side win rate, but I don't have to. You just know that their win rate is good on both sides of the map, guys. It's just kind of how it goes. I think they lost on blue once throughout the whole season. Yeah, that is 11 wins and 1 loss on the blue side.
Come on, take it now. I want to see your pick. Pick Lucian Nami, please.
20 victories and 3 losses.
Yep.
So 3
Pick
times
Renekton.
the amount of losses on the
Pick
red
Karma.
side. So this is a huge advantage for Gen G.
Going into this, we will definitely be breaking down some of the jungle picks, I think, that are going to, I think, shape how the early game is going to be played around those first 2 objectives, because as has been mentioned, and as you guys have been watching in other regions, no doubt, especially if you're up in this time zone, probably a lot of LPL, is the Drake health and the additional gold on Herald
I'll go on
means
Twitch.
that you want to play around both these objectives early, and what it's well.
Yeah, I'm feeling like the Herald priority is going to be like spring T1 levels. It's what it's sort of feeling like to me. The first ban going to be a bit of a nod to Delight. His Rakan going to hit the bench. Silas
Feel like he
also going to be
only
taken
plays
down.
Rakan and not
Very interested to
Villas.
see what the bottom
I mean,
lane
these
is
two
going
are the
to
most
do
common
now that
ones.
we've moved over towards this new patch. Zeri being slightly hit as well as the Yuumi. I think won't matter. As Chronicler already pointed out, the Yuumi obviously worth ban, especially against Lehens.
Yeah, I don't think the way we draft in the early phases is going to really matter all that much with this new patch. I don't think that that's really changed a whole lot, unless someone has a
Let's
pocket
pick
pick they want to
a 0,
Here's
and
Poppy will be
then
taken away here from Umpty. This is a Gen G ban. So
yeah,
not
smart.
part of
If
Xenon.
if
Wukong will
can,
be
it
traded
just first
over,
pick Zeri
and
all the
Poppy
time.
Khan, definitely don't want to be giving that
I
one
really
over to Xenon.
don't
Definitely a
think
strong matchup
the
for
Kalista's such a
Early-
high win rate, but I'm
yeah,
not
Gen
sure.
G here have the pick of the litter. We could see the Azir picked up here for Chovy. Could definitely see priority on the Kalista that's open.
They're gonna
and
first pick
Kalista,
Kalista.
as
For
was
real.
mentioned, you definitely don't want to be
Oh,
giving this
damn.
one over to players like Ruler, very likely, if
Yeah.
you're going to be prioritizing Drakes. And
Oh,
I think the idea for Fred
Azir.
Brion is it's
Azir?
Henry's best
Oh, no,
champion.
Wukong is
Maybe they
banned.
pick up the Zeri, you get Kalista into Zeri. But no, Gen G won't make that mistake.
Ooh, back to
Varus.
our favorite here. is
Varus?
Henry Varus. Now, you were talking about this
Varus?
actually,
Yeah.
the fact that Varus got some slight buffs, and already Henna is going to go back to it. Of course, was one of our biggest advocates. We know that he loves going back to Lethality
Oh,
Xayah.
he's the blood.
Lethality Varus, I actually think is relatively good. Or at least has been in
Hold
the past.
up.
Xayah was locked in alongside it.
He also played a lot of Varus, actually, and played Varus when it was popular, then after it
Nah,
fell
just
out
play
of the
Amumu.
meta, yeah, still playing it, like, as you're saying, and like to play Lethality Varus into Ezreal, so it's a strong
Your
pick
Twitch
for
chat
him.
is
I
going
was wondering,
wow.
You know,
What?
it's not going to look amazing because, unfortunately, it's on Fred Brion, but still, it's a comfort pick for him. Now, my concern here is Chovy gets LeBlanc. That's been buffed on this patch, a late game distortion damage. The explosive damage that LeBlanc has versus a Varus without any good peel here can be a big problem. Plus, they have the hard engage of the Amumu we knew was coming with the
Jeez.
Kalista. Hex Slash disabled or no, this pick is insanely strong right now.
Yeah. Oh, man. Already, Gen G's composition looking absolutely terrifying. If you guys were peeking in towards the LPL, there are certain players such as Rookie who had some pretty pop-off performances on this champion that got slightly buffed on this patch. So, yeah, already Gen G are playing for the earlier stages of the game, and it's looking like the way to be here.
Oh shit, I was about to message you. What the fuck?
That possible front to back.
Tom Kent
Oh, no.
common
Wait, what the
pairing
fuck?
with the Varus, like I said, has
I
very
thought you
little
couldn't make it.
peel or ability to defend itself against Kalista, Amumu, LeBlanc. Like these.
I thought you were not free.
Designed to
okay.
make Henna's life miserable.
Okay.
We'll see the Trundle taken away here.
Oh,
to
boy.
prevent those heavy dives from happening when the Kalista Amumu does have prio in these lanes. I love the Renata ban here too because Gen G are basically
Yes,
gonna be
move
looking
away
for
from Lucian army. Yes,
blow
yes.
people up early. And the Renata
I'm so
ultimate, plus
Kalista
her
actually
ability to
has a
nail somebody
80%
out,
win rate.
can be
Like,
such
what
a
the
big
fuck?
problem and frustration. Well, I think Leona
Kalista
and
is
Nal's the best
strong.
options here.
Now the
It's
meta
kind of
is
on over
Kalista,
into the Mars.
Sivir.
Yeah, plus so much chain CC for that bottom side of the map.
They are
Of course,
both quite
the setup for
mid-range,
Umpty
actually.
in that lane will be pretty insane, assuming they can catch Gen G out and unawares, especially.
Varus seems new. I have never seen
It's
anybody
gonna be
pick
a lot of
Varus
fireworks,
yet.
I think, towards that bottom side. And Nah, despite the nerf, looks like it's
Gwen, baby!
No, Gwen will be picked up instead. That's the blind Gwen into Morgan. A little bit of a scary prospect. We'll see
What?
what
Gwen?
Morgan has for
Gwen
down
has
here, as
fallen
Gwen's gonna
off
round
so
out his
much
roster now with a jungler, most
since the MSI, for I
See
know.
what this jungler ends up being. There's a lot of options here. I think something that could additionally peel for this roster would be great. I was gonna say
Oh,
we could go
Vi?
all in
What?
even more on the dive with the
Don't know why
Vi
Vi gets
something
picked
like
now.
Zhao, And it'll be
Kenny.
Kennen. Kennen, I think, is a great pick considering the
Your stream is like a few
defensive
seconds
options with the kick, of course,
further
Azir's
than
Emperor's
mine.
Divide, you could
Oh, I
survive
watched
through
the
game
Twitch
fights
one.
pretty
I
well
guess I'll
with
watch
this
back
Kennen
the
ultimate
YouTube
too.
one.
Then later on, you're gonna have
What's the YouTube?
Oh, Cannon.
draft. You have defensive
And,
options with the kick, of course, Azir's Emperor's
I
Divide. You
feel
can
like
survive
Bro
through
can
those
win.
game fights pretty well.
But in the end, the better team will
And
win.
later on, you're going to have pretty good scaling in the poke department with Varus, but also the Azir damage. will probably go
It's the
Ludus
Genji
round
coach
round
versus
as well, I
Genji.
think, with the amount of burst damage that's
It's
on
the
this team.
ex-Genji
But
coach
going back to the
versus
Varus pick,
Genji.
why we were talking about it in Pog State and why it is
Shit, man.
return, I think, here in the LCK is a lot of our players love Varus, first of all. But more than that, Varus offers you consistent poke damage on objectives that now have to be fought over
Now
longer,
they
and
play
I think
Kalista
it's harder
Amumu
by both
again.
teams. So his extended poke in those types of exchanges will gain value over time. especially
They
in
lost
games.
against
So if you're trying to hold
that
the aggro
Kalista
and
Amumu
trying to
when they
rotate
play against
somebody over,
BK.
in that interim, Varus is going to be hitting you over and over and over again with that arrow poke, and eventually that damage will stack up and you get an edge. You can then turn that poke into a hard cannon engage, a Leona engage, and be decisive in team fights. I still think we have to talk about the nameplates. We have to talk about that. Ruler's Collision probably should have never been allowed to happen.
But I do like the draft that Fred
But I do like the draft that Fred
No, I enjoy it as well. I think that they.
No, I enjoy it as well. I think that
Can you like lower
A
your
lot of options, and it's about how it's going to work.
your mic is getting the LCK sound
Some
low.
of their lanes, of course, you mentioned the poke, but
What
I mean,
the
Blanc
hell?
poke champion as well.
Your mic is picking up the LCK
And
sound.
then pops out immediately afterwards after doing a whole bunch of damage. Sadamumu.
I lowered the
Because he's just always crying.
the
Now it's
volume. a
now
bit.
it's good. Now it's good.
Maybe he cries when he's happy as well. It's absolutely.
This is my headset problem. My headset keeps.
I think usually it's the mic that can detect
Anyway,
your
JG
speaker
is
sound.
pretty
Right?
standard composition, I think, for this patch. And Fred Abreu,
My mic is the headset also
quite a bit
lah.
of scaling there, a lot of AoE, just a lot of those circles and
That's
things
why
like
it
this
always
like
picks
talk
up
about,
the-
a lot of CC available
The
if they
volume
make it
in
to
the
late stage.
in the headset.
Oh baby.
Fred Brown fans, it always impresses me with their passion for this team. Even though
Freddie-
there's still no chance
Freddie Brown
to make it
is
to playoffs or anything
OG.
like that, they're still here, they're still supporting, and it's absolutely fantastic to see. Great, I assume, to see all of you participating in Fred Brown fandom, which I assume you are doing.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable assumption. I've peeked my head into the
Genji's team comp is just all five dive in.
It's always a good way to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the most.
I would say they have
diverse, but you know, it is definitely very.
but the
They
thing
all
is,
dive-
Gwen is immune.
If you're talking about the diversity
They
of
all
emotes
dive
in
in just to
tournament,
kill,
I would say definitely
just to
low.
burst one
Frequency
person.
of emotes posted very high. though.
Yeah, there you go.
As Umpty's going to start here by
Every
himself,
time they
and
pick
his
Vi
team,
is to
and
dive bot
This
lane.
is, of course, the
At level
wrong
3.
thing that you could do. You start distortion, you put a ward down in the red buff.
I mean, like almost every
Very
time I
annoying.
see it.
There's not really any counterplay unless you're all grouped up to delete a ward.
Yeah,
Robots could
this
just dash back
this
to
Genji
the
knows how to
front,
play
or
for
else starting
ruler
to rather
better
command.
lah.
It'll be totally fine.
Even though every iteration of
Varus
Genji
in
is
the
just
early
to play
part
for
of this
ruler.
lane will be pretty okay, but once level 2 is hit or Lehens gets a nice hook opportunity,
All
just-
advantage
exactly
falls
one win.
that's when things start to go awry. Kalista long term will be able to do way more damage.
Ruler needs a lot of help,
Maintain
sure.
distance while putting poke out in the early levels, where he might be able to trade up, but again,
If you ask
it's
me
not
right
just
now,
Ruler,
both
so-
Genji and T1 are just
Yeah.
playing
It's
for
actually a very interesting
ADC.
choice as well. It's lethal
It's
counter.
just that
It's not
ruler
clear
is
by Henna, so it might be more
is
of a
used to it.
variant. I was largely expecting
Guma
based
is
on the
like,
player
ah,
alone
shit.
that we were going to see
I'm not used to the one
more
needing to
lethality
carry
based
everything.
version. Doesn't seem to be the case. Lehen's going to get
Oh
down.
boy.
Kenny
Dunk
bet
is
it.
just spotted.
Oh, oh,
just
oh.
gonna do some,
Oh.
Teddy.
Oh.
isn't going to be able to steal away the Grump, and now Umpty's
The
chasing after
stupid
him.
thing is,
Rip up
when
the
I
end,
see a
it's
lot
gonna
of
be a
people
real
say
tough one.
Teddy is better
But
than
Umpty
Guma,
had
it
the
doesn't
Sunway
matter because
land already.
Teddy's
Umpty's gonna
Teddy's
rotate over,
playstyle does
looking
not
for
fit
Lava here.
T1.
As Lehens does get advantage toss, Lava might pay for it.
Oh, the
But
Lehens
no,
went
going
and
to come through
feed.
Peanut
Oh,
over the wall,
shit.
though, and he will get
Oh, he
still onto
splashed the
Lava.
Oh, it's
clone.
fake news.
Trying to work out some funny business here.
Not
It's the
debated.
Empty fighting it out here with the Vi, and it's
Oh,
already
he's dead.
shenanigans.
Oh,
Okay,
what is that
Jovi gonna
flash? Oh.
on forward, finds himself at
They
There's a
know
T-
Leona. They know Leona is no
There's a
flashes.
TP coming.
Gets
Oh,
on over, and Ruler's in here as well. Umpty not going to get rendered, as I don't
You're
believe
still
the
like
reset
2
came
seconds
through there
ahead.
for
What?
Ruler. But yeah, break it
What?
down for me, Wolf.
Most creative way to get the Callista ahead I've ever seen. And look,
Well,
I
Callista got a kill, is GG.
That was so extended, like, I don't know who won it. 2-1.
But Umpty is, of course, able to use the Gromp to block bandage toss and sit behind there, so I don't think you're really going to be able to
First
find
of all, why
anything.
did Lehans
Plus,
invade
there's not
Lee
enough
Sin
control in
alone?
the mid lane, so it did end up looking very badly for Genji for just a moment there. Lehens has to flash, is of course still picked, but then Genji all
Lee Sin is low.
It's a hands diff here, and Chovy just showcases his mechanics as they turn it around. Peanut comes over unseen, ended up picking up
Oh,
2
let's
kills here
see.
to the 1.
Like
and
this,
notably,
like, bro.
of course, the Callista is the recipient of one of those. Notice Umpty's positioning here really well played.
He tried to steal the Gromp for the heal.
But the thing is,
denied the heal.
Mumu has no like burst damage at level 2, like,
The
bro.
exhaust comes through because he wants Peanut to come over here and save him. Fortunately, just a
And
little
there
bit
was
too
no
close.
way he could
Knows
have
that Peanut
stolen
doesn't
that,
come
man.
back. Chovy gets back his electrocute, I believe, here in this exchange. Fakes him out with the clone. And then it has the electrocute coming just back up, so they call to go back in. And the damage here is unreal.
Oh, it's just crazy.
And
how
for
they
LeBlanc,
navigate
doesn't the
this
real
fight.
one have
In,
like the
out, in,
potion
out.
on it?
Genji making sure they keep
Didn't
that
they
aggro
see
in
it?
check, and unfortunately, Fred Brion just a little bit outplayed, but Umpty's
Oh,
going to look
shit.
to do the same thing. Jumps on top of Chovy here. Q will connect as he gets underneath the turret, and there is the kill. Umpty's
It's
gonna go
true
down
lah,
low.
but in the
Straight
moment
back is
you
definitely not
rarely
ideal.
notice
It's
it.
giving Lava more opportunities
Shit.
here in this early game. Definitely good.
Yeah, Lava about to hit level 6.
Unless you
He is
pay
very
attention.
impactful in these upcoming fights for objectives, but I don't think either team is going to be able to start this Drake up early here as it has.
Right now, like, Gwen loses to
A little bit
everything
more
now.
tanky
She
on
just
this
becomes
map,
like a
and Calista
normal
Morris down
champion.
on the bottom side.
Don't know if he
Ended up
got
catching
nerfed or
Drake.
something.
Kobe already used teleport, so unfortunate.
Like, he
does go
loses
down
to
here.
every range,
Great
like
up for
Nah,
gold, but
Cannon,
still some tempo gain for Fred Brion right when this level
like,
6 is
even
running around
Akali.
the Lava, and the really impactful.
Maybe
fight
nerf the
around
healing, I'm not sure.
Yeah, Peanut going to be able to
Because
take
it's
down
really
a
only
little
the
bit
healing
of,
that made her
selfish here
broken.
towards the top side. As we check in with the top lane, Morgan and Doran just having a decent time. Morgan, of course, just with the early laning advantage of being Cannon.
It's not like we never see those pop off moments. It just happens less.
Feeling fantastic is Morgan right now. Peanut going to get spotted here by Umpty, but Umpty is not going to say hi. Will be spotted on this control ward as well as we get a bunch of pings that do come
Lee
out.
Sin is 25
So
CS.
far,
What the
none of the
That's
early
like
events
6
or anything
camps
like
only.
that, have been looked at here. 2 minutes until the Rift Herald is available. And I think that might be where we see.
To be fair, he got cracked.
Look at the win rate here for Callista for Ruler. Again,
Crap
it's
is still
we talked about
4.
so much he didn't play for a long time because it was permabanned against him.
Yep.
And his win rate is very high, but I think the numbers themselves don't even showcase how dominant he is on this pick. You know, whether he wins the game or not, he wins the lane. He makes a huge impact in the game. Grabbing that early kill this game is massive for him, and yeah,
I'm
he's
just
got
waiting
CS
for that
30 here, but
8-minute
that's not
Rift
what's
Herald
important.
fight,
What's important is the
baby.
final he's going to have when that Rift Herald does spawn and when they are going to commit for it. By the way, Peanut is just taking that extra aggression up to put mid and turning it into a huge CS gap right now. He's massively ahead, and Farm is going to take this red buff away here. A minute before the Herald spawns.
They know
They've
he's
got a
boss side
lot of
because they
good
invaded top
right now.
side.
Gen G do around the map. Yeah, maybe not the most impactful ultimates for a team fight here versus the Cannon and the Emperor's Divide, but they may yet be able to actually win a Rift Herald fight if they can have the better group up here, better map control.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're starting to do. Of course, no joy from Umpty with that little trip towards the bottom side. And so therefore, with that ping coming through from Umpty, he's going to have a bit of a sad reminder about the location of his Brambleback.
Actually, I don't know if you knew lah.
Top side nails that.
A lot of people really hate Gumayushi.
Chovy has the CS advantage once again.
Basically
Obviously,
because
kind of
he's
dropped down a
cocky.
little bit after that death. But since
I
rectify the
do
situation,
not like Gumayushi, but it's not because he's cocky.
Certainly does.
It's because he
And for Umpty
keeps
here, you
getting
might
caught.
frustrate because losing all that farm on the death for the dive mid, like you said, that camp boss.
Like,
I
Carrier
think
doesn't
he's
play
gonna
like those
have
safe
to take right
champions.
now.
His
There's no way
positioning
back
is
for him.
dumb
He
as
cannot
shit.
actually easily hit 6 because the red buff, like you said, was taken away. So he's going over to do Krugs will finally have that, but he's not able to threaten any ganks here.
He plays very forward.
Spawns, and now a little bit of extra prio in mid, top side.
For me, I think it's good until an extent. If you play too damn passive, like how Ruler used to be, like he's also very shit. It's only because his team right now initiates for him. That's why Ruler suddenly looks like a god, because they know how to initiate for him. The previous iteration of Genji is like, I don't know what to do, Ruler you carry lah.
Ruler used to get caught a lot as well actually. Like in the middle,
No,
he's farming in the middle when all the towers are gone.
Yeah, Morgan will grab the local gold.
Ruler doesn't get caught as much, but Ruler doesn't do anything also. At least Guma starts something. And then Ruler is like, ah shit. I just wait for my team lah. Oh, my team doesn't do anything at all. Then I also don't do anything lah.
Oh, he got spotted already.
Well, Lahen's not going to find the bandage toss as Chovy's fighting with Lava here towards the top side. Chain doesn't land though, and Chovy's going to have that passive proc. Lava still taking a little bit here, but definitely a very happy Azir at this point in the game as Morgan dashing forward, looking to...
There was no Rift Herald fight. What?
Towards Doran. And so far, Fred and Breon just having a really good time. I mean, look at...
Because Rift Herald is already taken, right?
Yeah, the Peanut opt to take the dragon instead of fighting for the Rift.
Chovy's clone has already expired here, and Lava does have the
first item, Camp Punk have been seeing that more recently. First, it's like, I mean, come on, it's like, is there really that much healing on the enemy team? It's like a value item, it costs only like 2600.
But let's not forget that Genji's composition is going to work a lot better in straight up 5v5 teams.
Don't know why they do that lah, but the enemy Freddy Breon doesn't have any intense healers. It's not like Warwick level or Soraka levels of healing. Nobody heals except Lee Sin passive.
Hannah is buying Hannah is buying Bloodthirster.
I had a look at what he's been doing in solo queue a little bit.
I don't think
things like Ginter's Rageblade and the Kraken Slayer.
Varus is supposed to buy that item, but
option here, which I kind of respect.
Not Bloodthirster,
We'll see whether he is going to,
I mean, it is Bloodthirster, right? It's the Vampiric Scepter and the Bandit Bomb thing. Hold up, we got a fight.
No, it's the shield bow.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's buying the... Wait, what did I say?
You said Bloodthirster.
I don't know why sometimes I say Bloodthirster is shield bow. I mean, like, they both basically do the same shit. God dang it.
Bro, even I got confused. I'm like, what?
Like, a Bloodthirster it's basically the mythic version. I'm like, god dang it. Shield ball there, I mean shield ball. Like, first item shield ball. I mean, like, Varus is... I mean, you're kind of building a right-click build, but...
He built shield bow because of the enemy team. Like I said, they all just want to dive.
You never see this in normal gameplay because people build like lethality or AP.
Certainly, with Drake's becoming more powerful, with the souls all being buffed and things like this, means that it doesn't really matter whether you've got a scaling comp or not. If you get all those Drakes, you're going to be really strong, is kind of how it works.
Bro is actually ahead. But I don't... Have they ever used a Rift Herald yet? They might get more gold.
But of course, regen
because of Cannon.
as prevalent on this patch, so I feel like
Cannon is gapping that
it is
nerf champion.
a lot stronger as far as
oh shit, he coming.
Top side is Chovy. He's rotating up. They're looking to try and take down Morgan. Doran's in a bit of trouble though.
Oh, you got your baited.
He does end up
oh
falling
shit.
down. Great ult there from Lahen's defensively as we've got the Vault Breaker to allow Peanut to make it out of this little kerfuffle on the bottom side. And Genji will survive. Rula
Oh,
gets
going.
by the Q. Nice aim there from Umpty, and Lava with some spare time in the mid lane, going to get some work done.
Yeah, Lava's going to try to grab some plates here mid, but is of course traded bottom side here. And Genji win out on this exchange. Morgan's dead. So you have so much power down on bottom side right now to push this.
Oh no, the Vice buying Sunfire. Like, what?
Morgan does have teleport. And we're 45 seconds away
from
the
break, Frozen Gauntlet.
At least teleport actually gets a huge buff.
Is this like another variation of Play of the Ruin King Sunfire?
Like, much later now. So we have a dive set up.
Ah shit, here we go again.
It failed the dive.
Oh, he's still going in. Shit.
And Lance just breaks his stopwatch, flashes away, and he's going to be fine. Delight trying to be the noble sacrifice, and he will, but I don't think it's going
That's
to
a nice Azir wall.
Missed by the Emperor's Divide, and Umpty does survive
close.
as Morgan
Oh,
gets towards the top side. Will grab some
Gwen
plates.
Morgan's going to get some extra lead here on the top side of the map.
But the Gwen couldn't do anything. He didn't have her out anyway. Like, he shouldn't have TP.
This where Morgan dies and expends his ultimate. So despite having teleport for
I mean, if it works, they full white bot side, so.
Slicing Maelstrom or rather get value in a side lane, as this was just incredible.
Oh, Peanut used the ulti to cancel the Leona stun.
Avoid being blown up. Then this turn, also Lahen's Fate's Call into the re-engage, stopwatch broken instantly, so there's no way he could be traded. He just flashes out. Delight's trying
Look at
to
the Gwen.
They know this is a zero-sum game for
he
them.
got a kill, but I mean, if she wasn't needed there, if it would have went to Ruler anyway.
So they pick that one up. Or at least they should.
They should be able to. It's, again, it's not always a given on this patch.
Yep.
Very tanky.
Indeed. We've got a reset now for Fred Brion as Genji are looking for second.
I heard people say Brion's only carry is Morgan.
Look at all of that health. That's just,
There's a lot Morgan. You heard this team?
Yep.
The memes.
That's how that one goes.
Oh, yeah, Lord Morgan.
Is that supposed to be a reference to some like Camelot shit that I don't know?
Theoretically, they could go for this, but they don't want to trade it for the Drake. And
No.
towards the bottom side, looking to clear out.
Yeah, just calling him Lord Morgan.
They don't lose out on that one. Sentinel does spot Umpty, and so Genji is going to now.
Because he has to 1v9 this
Fred Brion's team fighting
This
here is so muted without cannon.
SHIT team.
Slowly here.
Shit.
Trying to buy enough time for him to be able. This is where the Varus.
Actually, later T1 is fighting like third place, right? Sandbox is third place.
Yeah. Well,
Oh shit.
there's an ulti to cover
yeah,
the
basically.
Not
Oh,
going
he
to
got
use his
bursted,
effective
man.
off cooldown just yet. Emperor's Divide is going to find a
Oh, cannon, baby.
They've just singled it.
Didn't even need to
Kill
outlaw.
for Hennes Varus. And Ruler just unable to get anything back.
Their team fight better for sure. Even though they have Apomu, even though Genji has Apomu, Bros fights better.
Doran is going to get top turret, but again, these Drakes are so important.
Genji is strong if all 5 dive in at the same time, but only the hands has to start the fight.
I think Bro still wins even in a team fight. They have two team fight outs.
It's possible, but it's
Like,
very difficult.
Cannon and
It's gonna take a
Azir.
long time to take, but they should be able to secure it. Genji decided to reset and look for a team.
No, all
fight
5 of them
setup on the
can
Drake,
initiate
instead of
fights.
taking the risky call and actually doing
The Varus R can also initiate team
I
fight.
think this may have come back to bite them because they are
Varus
just
R
not
is
set up
like,
and coordinated for this fight. Because
I mean,
as
like,
you mentioned in the
does the
draft,
Varus R go
Fred
through
Brion have
minions?
Some poke, some scaling.
Yes.
They do have hard engage on single targets.
Yeah, and every time I
And
see
that's
this
exactly what
champion,
happened,
like,
unfortunately,
it's so
for
hard to hit the
Hens.
R.
When so much of your engage and disengage isn't a support that's tied to Fate's Call, if a Mumu goes down first, your team fighting does fall apart very rapidly. Because remember, Doran is also not here. Doesn't have teleport, so you know you're fighting a man down when you know that Cannon isn't top side. He's not involved in this fight, because it's really just a collapse onto the Amumu.
No, exactly right. There was no Fate's Call available, so really beautifully done. Peanut then out of position
Feels
as well, as biting off a bit more than they can chew. This, however, is not that case, as Morgan is in.
Yeah, unless they all dive into one person, they cannot kill. They have to all dive on one person to kill.
Going to be counter pushing in this mid lane, and you mentioned cross map plays. It's not even necessarily around Drake and Herald just yet, but Brown have been able to take back anything whenever, you know, Morgan falls down in a side lane or something like that.
Yeah.
Very nicely done.
I think they harbored Na, but they didn't pick Na. They opt to pick Gwen. Like Gwen doesn't do anything in this
Lava should be able to
game.
pull it off. Chovy's going to have to back out. And, you know, we talked about how Genji's comp was going to look better.
Oh, 8 health.
8 health.
Damn, son.
Whoa.
Big
All
save.
right. Yeah, exactly. So, Morgan's death not in vain.
No.
It's that turret's alive. Absolutely going to be alive for a really long time.
I don't feel like LeBlanc.
It'll be
I mean, who
totally
can
okay.
she actually pick off?
Genji's comp has a lot of power in straight up 5v5 team fights. The Gwen side laning angle and Chovy
Depends on the
was able to
angle.
potentially assassinate Henna, but Henna took
LeBlanc is fed also lah.
I mean, like Chovy's LeBlanc is okay.
Variations of the Varus will be. And at this stage,
It doesn't feel like a Chovy champion, even though he's good
a
at
little bit here if we're going to say that
LeBlanc.
Genji is okay in this game, because I really don't think that is true. Lava has his
You
crown.
don't really
on,
feel like
he's great in
his
the
play
shadow game
style.
against a very squishy composition here of Genji. Doesn't have a ton of magic resistance outside of those Merc Treads coming through, and you know, plays like this are great when you can get kills, but when the enemy team is buying time, getting side laning done, and also getting cross-map objectives, doesn't matter as much. Still great mechanical play from Chovy here, using the Everfrost, grabs the chain, and there's enough follow-up here. Diving under turret with a cannon, always difficult to pull off, but when you have this much dive in a comp like this with a Vi, you can do it.
Yep, it's very nicely done, but still costs them the outer turret in the mid lane. And Frederibrian with a lot of line wave clear as well. Varus certainly very good at that, especially one that's slightly accelerated.
Well, now they're even.
So Henna getting to that 2-item spike, feeling pretty good about this. And the way that Frederibrian's comp works in teamfights, like sometimes you talk about Varus as a champion that doesn't necessarily have a lot of scaling. However, that is largely attributed to the lethality build.
Yeah.
That is countered by extra armor and things like that, just in general. But the on-hit variant does a hell of a lot of damage if he can stand there and get autos down. And Genji, not a lot of range on their composition. Yes, Chovy has a lot of assassination potential, but Frederibrian have so much CC that Henna might actually have an opportunity to just stand there and like
1 minute.
What's really cool about Frederibrian's comp on that note is it's a lot of defensive CC, a lot of peel. But also, as we saw in that fight where Lehens was picked and the Drake went over to Frederibrian, they also have the ability to blow up somebody's single target. I wouldn't like to see them hard engage onto a wide variety of Genji players because the damage on Genji's side is so high. But if you find an Amumu, or Amumu tries to engage, you instantly kill him by CCing him to death, then you win the front to back. And Varus shouldn't ever be assassinated by anybody but Chovy in this game.
Yeah.
And that's a scary thought. Chovy is, you know, our best mid laner in the LCK right now, and he's on one of his best champions in the LeBlanc, does have 6 sacks of Darkseal, but putting all that pressure on one player here means the composition of Genji has somewhat failed.
This is a huge zoom out. Thank you very much.
Frederibrian's position is quite bad.
Noting as well that there is a huge towards the top side as well. Everfrost does come down. Delight just exploding. The chains will come through. Fate's Call relatively early here as Shirley gets a charge but is going to be taken down. And now, the setup for this first Infernal
I think Bro need
exactly
to give
Dragon.
Dragon.
Rula gonna have to move back.
But they still can fight, they have all their armor. Oh god, Morgan's like halfway across the map.
Good teleport ward here. There's
Morgan is running down instead of TPing down, right? What?
But doesn't have a flank angle unless he goes bottom.
Oh, it's too late.
Just going to explode, but does have the stop.
Oh, this league is over. It's over.
By the assault and battery, and now Doran is going 1v3. Delight is
one more R.
As the flash Vault Breaker comes through. Or Vault Breaker flash.
Well, there's Morgan.
And Genji gonna just
Your best player is Morgan and you initiate fight without him. That's very smart. That's very, very smart.
Morgan's like masturbating at the top river. Like, what was he doing? What the fuck? I saw him hover like in the near Baron there. Like,
and I'm going to be able to teleport
your
in and slice
your
mail
best
through.
performing player is
Missing
not in
your
the
mail
fight,
throws
dude.
in every fight. You can't be
Like,
absent in every
bruh.
single fight because these
Reddit,
team fights are
bruh.
so reliant on the cannon. And by the time he shows up here, the fight is already over.
Chovy is gatekeeping Morgan. That's why he cannot come in.
From Umpty denied as well, which I think was the biggest part of that, because maybe if he does get that kick play off, you mentioned single target CC and things like that, it could have worked out. But in the end, all of the damage put into Delight earlier
Morgan doesn't have a zone yet.
If Morgan is
Wouldn't
there,
go
he
into
can
the
just
fight
stand on top
anyway.
of his teammates. that play from Genji is impossible to pull off. But he wanted to teleport in. He wanted to grab that wave topside. They didn't want to lose more resources because Herald crashes through and you lose multiple waves top feels
Wait, there's not a single Zhonya's this
getting
game.
over that second trait to
I
Genji.
mean, aside from
It's
Leona.
even worse, and it's a tough call to make. I think the
It's actually
observers don't like
crazy.
it either. That's why they're showing it so hard. But he needs to be with this team if they're going to function, especially in this critical mid game where Fred Brion are going to.
Corruption coming down here as well.
Oh, he missed his out.
Divide. Oh, it's a disaster.
Azir missed the
Now
out,
Genji's
man.
back
What
over
the
the
fuck?
wall. Not really worried about it. Mimics his distortion, gets himself back again as well, and
That's
that could
3
have been
ultis
such a
for
huge pick if
Chovy.
Fred Brion had have been able to get that Azir
And
just
they
a
don't
little
kill him.
closer.
Yeah, it was crazy how close that was. It looked like it hit, but it definitely did
It's
not.
not-
Chovy is
I
gonna
don't
be
think
able
it
to
was
escape
close.
Here. No flash expended or anything like that, and big ultimate down here now for Fred Brion too with nothing gained.
Yeah.
Baron is up. Genji
Thank God
do
for
have
them,
the
Genji
2 item,
couldn't
3 item Callisto.
get much right
They're
now.
setting up vision.
Well, Lahen's just fighting lava here. Emumu probably not going to win that battle. Is just going to walk on out.
Yeah.
Of course, you do a lot of little hits of damage if you're auto-attacking as the Azir, so I kind of like the Emumu passive in that particular 1v1. However, he has 0 money.
The more champions you touch, the more chances you get 3,000 assists tonight.
Hey, that's true. That's true. He's just got to do more battles. As much battle as possible. Right now, sitting on 3, so we're going to have to times that by 5.
Yeah.
If we want to get to the record.
It's you know,
like-
it's baby steps, okay? Still a lot of gameplay left in this series as Genji, like I said, grouping up here for Baron Vision because they can clear this so fast at this point, way faster than Fred Brion can. And with the extra prio they have on the map, it's warranted. They have control over the pit. And if Fred Brion are forced into this choke point, that's when things can get a little bit awkward, especially if Morgan isn't there for a slicing Maelstrom. Once again, still has that teleport. But with no
Canon is
flank
buying
angles,
that.
he needs to be with
Is
his
it like the
team
MR
splitting
AP
if
item?
Genji decide to push a fight.
Morgan now just
That cross
clear out
item.
the wolf camp, so at least Peanut's not going to be able to deny
Yep.
that one. It is only about
Oh,
3,000
Jesus.
gold lead. It's not end of the world or anything like that for Fred Brion right now.
I mean,
but with,
I feel like
Genji having
Zonya,
some
you just
control
buy
over
that
the
one
map, the
Zonyas is
soul point
already
is going to be theirs.
like
As
still
these start to
value.
stack
Like,
up, we will
I'm
get
pretty sure
devastated.
that green
12, 14
chain
percent
green
for
crown
these,
item is like 1300
Mega
gold.
Dragons
Like,
that
what?
are very, very scary, especially when it's the Infernal.
I
like
don't
how
really
here in the
get
LCK
why
we
they like
have
the
a lot of
item so
oceans,
much.
a lot of clouds,
It's on Ari. They buy it on Ari every time.
We buy it on all the engaged champions, like for what? You only block one spell.
They feel like
Yeah.
They simply stack one. Oh, what is that?
Gwen? Oh shit!
Immediately, Doran's going to get the dash away. Umpty taking so much damage here as the needlework
I
flies.
mean, like
through.
even that's
Doran
like
again
not the
goes
guy you
for
want to
the
kick.
reset here,
Even
a
if
little bit of
if the
extra control
kick
of the map.
works.
However, still a minute and 20 on this Drake, so they can afford.
I mean,
If you look-
they could have killed him. But
Good side leaning here.
Like if you're looking for a kick, it's either Peanut or who is it? Ruler. But last time they tried Peanut, just R him also before he could kick. So he just died.
Driftmaker is going to be pretty fine.
They're diving the tower.
Oh!
They're throwing. They're simply throwing ultis again. Like, bruh.
And Lahen's is absolutely going to be okay. Chovy tidies up
You're the last place team for a reason.
Oh, okay, bit of a fight as Chovy's
Oh,
going to walk this one
oh
out
shit.
or dash this one out. As the
You
real
see?
Chovy does have to escape,
Yeah,
doesn't
never
use
mind.
his
They're
flash
not
or
gonna
anything
chase
like
them.
that. But good aggression there from Lava.
There's so many good team. That's the good kick.
Oh yeah,
That
baby.
kick does finally come
Oh,
out.
that
Rula's looking to
flash.
try and trade the-
Oh my
That's
god.
not what you want. And Rula, pretty uncharacteristic mistake here.
Yeah,
I don't
but
think
then
that's
back in his chair as
uncharacteristic.
well, he knows he goofed.
That's how he is without a good team.
Fred Brion to actually get control of this side lane here and do Baron. They have a lot of Baron damage now, more than they did
But
last
this
time we
is
were
not
having
a
this
good
discussion.
start.
Yeah, that was
They're
a good
still
position
They
as well, making a
just
bit of a
take
comeback.
Dragon. They always want to
Teleport
take
comes
Baron
through,
when they
looking to
kill
get himself
someone.
in
It's like the
here.
biggest
Now,
bait I've
Morgan
seen.
takes advantage of the fact that there's no fates called.
Well,
He
it
does
somehow
come through
works
here from the
because
Emerald
Lahen's
Fight.
is
Not
very
going to do
squishy.
anything because there's just not enough members of Genji in the area. Now, 12 seconds.
Oh,
for
he got
Rula,
it.
And Fred Brion, they just want to get a pick, and Peanut would be absolutely the perfect
Just
one.
take Dragon, man.
Does bring him
Fuck.
out, as now Henna has to be very, very careful.
Oh my god, I still want to fight.
Here, but another teleport will come through.
They delay too
Gwen's gonna
much.
come on over, and here's the assault and battery. Genji looking to try and turn it around as Umpty is the one that's going to be taken down. Morgan trying to get himself.
Cannon still has out. Like what?
He just can't find his way in. And now Chovy is corralling them. He flashes forward, trying to pick up any sort of opportunity for aggression on this LeBlanc.
Just take Dragon, man. They always want to take Baron, like, bro.
Without their jungler.
This kind of macro doesn't exist anywhere else, man.
Chase there and try to look for a pick onto a Vi after getting the initial pick on Amumu, who's the best engaged for Genji to contest this Baron. They take him out. They have control with still.
Even T1 does this shit sometimes.
As the observers are scaring me here, because
yeah, Jonas Strong like he can see Peanut has flash up, and he's like, well, he's gonna go for this play, isn't he?
The stupid.
Oh shit! Oh my god! Oh my god!
We did that twice.
Oh!
Connecting as the Amumu is going to be brought out to relative safety. Lahen's looking
What?
to re-engage actually as Morgan down to about 500.
He's not a good LCK player. Oh, wow.
This Cannon hasn't done shit for 25 minutes.
We're talking about a Cannon who's sitting on 3 items. Has dash.
Oh, that's not the point.
0 times.
Yeah, the zero.
Genji kept baiting the Cannon ulti, and then adding on to the fact they don't 5v5 properly. You give a good team, the Cannon will always start ulti. Like remember Kana's Cannon for T1?
Yeah.
Kana's Cannon always start team fight first, it's not just simply ulti.
Yeah, it's 3v5. As now for
where?
on the Baron yet again. Peanut in the area. It is going to be a 50-50.
What is Lahen's doing?
Just going to throw his life away. No Fate's Call available or anything like that. The the Vi also taken down.
Lahen's doesn't know that there's a ward, so
Yeah, I'm not entirely
in
sure
his
how
defense.
Baron got that much control on Baron because we were watching Ruler fail flash again. But, either way, they set up for this. They do have good damage for Baron at this stage in time. And even with Morgan not having slicing mails from up, Genji failed to actually engage Lahen's.
Okay.
You know, he's looking for 3,000 assists today, but he has not had the greatest game of Amumu. Remember, this is the guy, along with Beryl and Vista, who have played the best games of Amumu this season. Yeah, but he's just a little bit left out to dry here.
Either both initiators with the only CC they're the only ones that died.
Hey, why does Genji even start? Bruh.
Okay, I think you guys are over here.
You'd be like, oh shit.
Goes in and ults Umpty. What? Yeah. Okay. I mean,
That was very close 50-50 actually.
Yeah, maybe the Deskers could break this one down. I think we've got Cubby as well. We might need 3 people in order to get to the bottom of Lahen's thinking there. But
yeah, we were like, how did that happen?
Vi and Amumu died the most because they have to initiate stun for their team,
anyway,
for them to dive. So if they die first, Genji also cannot do anything.
Cannon's still not buying stopwatch. What?
I'm looking at
He's buying the Shadow Flame.
What the?
Available, but Lava has a CF,
Yo.
and that is not
Even the Azir is not buying it.
all that off.
Yeah, I mean, they have Baron, they have this mid push coming through. Ruler's over there dealing with that, so the siege is real here on bottom side. They have a flank angle here with Morgan. I don't think Genji should try to hold this turret. They should definitely retreat.
Genji's team comp is quite bad.
This one into
It's very specific.
Vi is...
We'll just go ahead and reset here.
I mean, like, there's situations that you can use Vi, but not here.
The free Baron they were given, as they should have been able to have pressure really in all 3 lanes here.
If you want to be very specific, Vi is only for follow-up. So the only realistic engage is Amumu. And they have to pair with the Kalista ulti.
Gwen is only good when you have a front line. I mean, she's good like if for the only front line in your game. You can pick like a lot of long range if you have Gwen.
I feel like Fred and Brianna getting to a point where their composition will just be able to run.
But here is like she doesn't have a reason to go in because other people are going in before her.
There's 4
Oh,
people
shit.
here. Lava is going to head forward.
Gwen's only real purpose right now is to just pick people off. That's not worth it.
It's a support trade.
And Genji now have them exactly
Lehens
where they
is
want them.
softer than the Leona, so Genji is definitely worth. Because now Freddy Brion have no tank.
Yeah, and Morgan here does
Just
have
flash
his
out or
too.
some
You
shit
can
that doesn't have
slicing in
flash.
whichever way he wants it. No
Bruh.
no dash
Oh, he caught Chovy. Nice.
Oh, shit. Nice.
Comes forward, Chovy trying to get himself out of here as Doran. He'll go golden as well. The AoE damage is massive. Emperor's
Oh,
comes
Gwen,
through,
this is what Gwen
but
does.
He's still going to fall down. Peanut hits the R button, and now Umpty's running for the hills. Sometimes Genji just find the fight they're looking for as Lehens denied the assist, but he gets
No,
the
they
kill here
didn't
on
find what
his
they're
way
looking
out.
for. It's
Morgan
just
on this cannon, you know,
Freddy Brion
0-3.
completely
This
ignoring
game was
Gwen.
so critical for the composition of Freddy Brion, and his dying moment is trying to slicing Maelstrom a LeBlanc solo 1v1. The rest of his team needed that peel so badly.
Wait.
As Genji just take a more decisive fight. The Gwen
Bro actually don't have any anti-healing. That's one game away.
Volt breaker when he was hit by the ult out of Delight here, and I don't think Delight's going to stop these Nexus turrets from falling
I told you when they kill Leona, it's more worth for them.
Yeah.
Because in Bro's team comp they have no tank. So they're like, aha! You're all squishy, you're all dead.
But zooming in on parts of the replay,
Rest
Lehens.
doesn't
Lehens in
matter,
particular,
baby.
I think very much having a for fun game in certain parts of that one.
Yeah, I think the early game he played very, very well, and then had some whoopsies, let's just say.
The two-man Baron was, I think, the most egregious because, yes, you do a lot of damage. You have a Kalista next to you, but the Amumu gets knocked up by a Baron, goes down to about 15% health, and then the ensuing
I guess
fight,
that's
he tries to
okay.
go in and ult while the rest of his team. I think that this game was a good look for him overall.
Take
I
a
think
break,
it was a really good look
a
for
bit,
Lava.
come back for
His
draft.
His peel was really good. His damage output was solid.
Kill.
Yeah, he could not quite lock down Kobe. But otherwise, in team fights, looked good. It was, for me, I think, Morgan, who really did not find anything on this cannon. Yeah, you're laning against Orin. He took control of your lane after the early game. Or you were always behind the tempo on those slicing Maelstrom teleport plays because your team didn't have wards for you to teleport to. But man, you've got to be there to protect your carries in these 5v5 fights. You can't let them get caught and split up like that, and trying to all in a LeBlanc was just not the right move.
Yeah, it didn't quite work out, and we saw so many times that it was almost like they were teetering, and then Doran finds an angle, and Needlework rips everyone to shreds, and then it's not even close. I think that Gwen was very important in a lot of those team fights in the later stages of the game. No surprises here that Chovy is the leader as far as damage is concerned. He got a lot of poke done in this game, but Umpty doing a lot of work for his team, trying to get stuff done, and we saw that Freddy Brion were able to create some advantages for themselves. So I'm excited. Looking forward to game number 2 here, Wolf, because Freddy Brion aren't going to go down without a fight.
Certainly not. Very excited to see what happens as we switch sides here as well.
Yeah,
Genji going on red side, what those counter picks are coming through.
Yeah, exactly right. Let's head over to the carpet space after a short break for the breakdown of game number 1.
우리 세 명만 여기 있고 르블랑이 포킹하면 될 듯?
이거 나 초식에도 있어서 나한테 걸면 빨면서 할게.
나 위로 올라가 볼게 얘들아.
야 리신 방금 빠졌다 형.
리신 초식에 있다 얘들아. 한번 살고 텔로 오면 돼. 아 싸움 좋다. 싸움 좋다. 나이스. 내가 잡을게 리신도.
끝난 거 같은데 미드로 할게.
내가 리신 마무리할게.
끝나나? 나 미드 갈까?
끝났어.
끝났어.
And now, that's there.
He is there. Can he make it into the pit? The answer is no. As the Rend and the Smite is going to be good. And take a look at this. Are you getting away from Zeka in this case? Everybody is turning up to him, but he has a Zhonya's. And he has insane amounts of damage. You can't take him down. As the Kingslayer will just keep him alive bit by bit. Finally, they do kill the raid boss, but it's not going to matter because everybody else on the side of Genshin.
Which he's done better than, I'd say, any other AD carry within the LCK. He's always been at least on item parity. He is very far behind the curve right now.
Yeah, not sure why they're here. Bible hits a delicious ultimate onto 3 of them.
천천히 전령 깔면서 다이브박을 생각할게. 스카 하나 타고 들어가서 다시 들어갈게.
Try to get Peanut here, who is going to get a very nice blast, but straight into the curse of the Sad Mummy, but immediately Amumu goes down. Doran goes forward. He's frontlining for his team. What a huge play. And Toby gets a massive sweep into 4 of them. And Genshin, yes, they will still lose 2 members.
죽었다. 안녕 얘들아.
He's just playing with his food now. That's what I was talking about, this top lane. I'm like, this is not very close when it comes to the individual ability of these 2 players to play out a lane. And Rascal is just dunking on him.
Eddie.
And welcome back to the Alice Carpet Space and Collaborative Chairs, and also with a guy in the TV named Cubby. This is me, Valdez, with Chronicler, and Cubby, of course, back here once again for this week. That was a very interesting game. Very back and forth. Fred Brion actually looking like one of the teams that had the best chance against Gen.G so far, which is insane to say, outside of course, T1, who did take them down. Let's take a look at the draft, though. Chronicler, what do you think?
I saw this one, and in theory, the Fred Brion draft quite strong. I love the comic of the Varus. I think that Varus Leona is just a really strong lane, always has been, always will be. Good setup, but at the same time, like you look at the Gen.G comp and you see Kalista and Mumu, which we know how hard that snowballs, especially with the current state of the game. And then you have Gwen and LeBlanc as kind of insurance policies, but even in mid-game, LeBlanc provides really good setup and follow-up to Vi. So overall, I just expected Gen.G to get an early gold lead, stomp every lane, and then take every objective and win.
And I thought the idea from Fred Brion to, have this cannon on R5, it seems pretty sound in the Gen.G, who are really looking to blitz the game early. I think the one thing that was missing from Fred Brion that really hurt them in the mid game was the fact that they lose both sides with LeBlanc and Gwen. They just weren't able to get push once.
Just waiting for draft to start.
And we really saw that hurt them as Gen.G were able to have a full court.
Oh, hello!
And
Anyone actually here?
Some resources from Fred Brion in between objectives.
Absolutely agree, and I think that the power of friendship worked for a little bit until it did not, but we do have 3 highlights, so let's get into the first one here. And Cubby, I want to ask you about this specifically from the point of view of Gen.G. What did you think about this early aggressive play from Lehens?
It was amazing.
So, whenever I see a Kalista bot, especially on blue side, I love when you attack enemy jungle camps, and for the Hens, this seems like a crazy move, but if he walks away with a Gromp, Umti's game is over. Because Peanut is able to rotate after that. Umti would have been stuck at level 2. Unfortunately, it does not work out for the Hens, but we see some of the early power of Gen.G's composition really come to light here, as Peanut had a great follow-up from Fog, and that is really what helped turn this skirmish in Gen.G's favor.
What I loved is the confidence with which Gen.G played here early on. But this play by itself looks like, okay, Gen.G, Lehens goes a little aggro, but then, man, Chovy and Peanut played well. Ruler also joining the fight, getting an early kill. But in the context of what happens later in the game, some more question marks, I think, will be drawn at that play.
Yeah, certainly pretty aggressive there from Gen.G. Let's take a look at highlight number 2, which was a skirmish around 21 minutes into the game. And what did you think about this one, Chronicler?
It really showcased, I think, most notably that this was a game where Umti knew that there was a lot of onus on him, especially because Delight got bullied out by Chovy here. And Umti trying to go for a hard play on the Gwen while his Leona is in stasis is just not going to work, right? And you see that the Fred Brion comp does have some difficulties if they're not able to actually get the backline access that they need. And I thought from that point, Gen.G gets...
Eli is actually quite a shit support, if you ask me.
Hello!
Cubby, any thoughts on that highlight yourself?
No. Chovy created a really bad situation for Fred Brion, and I thought Chovy's LeBlanc was fantastic. His ability to bait skill shots and cooldowns out of Fred Brion, and then also play it around the chain range. I think it's something that Chovy just does superbly. No surprise, really, watching Chovy pilot yet another champ, the great proficiency.
Yeah, I think it's really scary now that LeBlanc is kind of back in the meta with some of those buffs. Let's take a look at highlight number 3, as this was the final fight. And this one originally looked okay for Bro, but not quite towards the end.
And love the kick from Umti, making sure that Ruler cannot save Lehens. And then we again see, I think, some of the overconfidence that Gen.G have very much Lehens most notably displayed throughout the entirety of the series, with them looking to hard engage into this play when so many powerful ultimates are still up. Really big risk. Love the pull from Morgan here.
Yeah, and you know that phrase as a kid where it's don't run with scissors? Yeah, in League of Legends, it's don't run into scissors, as Gwen shreds everyone.
They all just walk into the Gwen.
And Doran, I would love to see the team fight damage numbers.
Even the Varus just walks face first into her ulti. Like.
Yeah, he was pretty steadily getting fed.
Actually, who is this new guy? I've never heard of him.
Oh, Hannah.
No, the guy in the TV.
But let's take a look at the POG
That guy.
game
Then just now there's that dude analyzing shit.
He's like the new
I think
analyst law.
for this one. Doran had
But who is it?
Gwen game. I think Doran overall, in my opinion, generally.
Wait, Ruler got it? Oh, Doran.
Gen.G, which he's still really good. It's just it's Gen.G. So being a weaker part still is pretty
Look
decent.
at this
But
fight,
the reason why
baby.
POG is just display. He not only saves Chovy by making sure that the rest of the team can't go for him, but really nice stopwatch timing, great
Out
needles,
stopwatch.
and then, this is the team fight that solidifies the win. So I think makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Cubby, any thought on this?
Chovy?
Yeah,
I feel like
I was
Chovy
kinda
like did
confused because
okay.
I feel like Frederick Briand just ran straight into the scissors as we were talking about.
If you ask me, nobody in Gen.G is
Again,
proactive.
don't run into Gwen.
Oh,
I
Freddy
mean-
Brion just ran into them.
I mean, Gen.G doesn't have anybody that was impactful. The only reason why that last play looked impactful is because Freddy Brion just run into them.
Thank you so much, gentlemen.
They're like, wow, just run into the Gwen R.
Yeah, baby.
Well-deserved POG. I liked the split. I liked how everyone was on the same page. It's one of the solo lanes that are getting it, and that is it.
This is actually the one game where it feels like nobody on Gen.G did anything and they just win.
It was quite close until 25 minutes. Peanut.
Freddy Brion had an advantage until they just literally just ran it down.
Just Gen.G are the stronger team tonight.
Azir dive into R and then the Varus also just run into to do something.
Here this time around for first pick.
Yeah,
and
Slightly rise.
Gen.G
I don't
will
know
allow
shit.
the Kalista to go over.
Sylas
Hannah
is
because
pretty
as
OP
mentioned
right now,
before,
actually.
He's best champion, strong on blue side, really strong for Drake Cryo.
It's gonna be a first pick Kalista again unless Gen.G bans it.
Azir is going to be banned away here as well.
Sylas is basically just a Gnar bot for LCK right now. They keep saying if they see Gnar, they pick Sylas.
Oh, Twisted Fate.
Like you were talking about, the Kalista is just going to be banned
Always
away here.
pick
By
Sylas
Gen.G,
when there's
they're
a
not willing
Twisted
to take
Fate.
that risk, and I respect it. And there's the Yumi ban.
Oh, Kalista ban, okay. It might be a first pick Zeri.
Is one of the oldest tricks in the book.
Yeah.
Definitely a good move.
Hannah on Zeri.
Zeri. You wanna ban Zeri, boy?
Probably going to be too
Chovy?
worried about, and we've seen a lot of teams just allow the Zeri to go through. Prioritizing things like
Oh,
Hong Kong, which was
okay, it's gonna be Zeri and then Lucian Nami, baby.
don't want to have that cyclone around in team fights while
What?
power around. Those
Oh, Poppy's good too.
objectives is we'll see Poppy get left through the draft here.
Oh, Ruler can also pick Zeri
I
here.
think more as a pick away than anything else, but again, Hannah.
Why the hell would you pick Poppy first pick when Zeri is much more powerful? What the fuck?
Gen.G is, I think, a smart move, but this does mean Gen.G now get to choose.
I think Poppy's a good first pick.
They decided to pick Sivir against Zeri.
She was nerfed a little bit on this patch. Of course.
Sivir has more
Oh,
range than
baby!
Dangerous as Peanut is
Chovy's Ari is undefeated, so it's fine.
Bro can pick Lissandra if they are smart.
It's insane.
They don't pick Lissandra, that's the thing.
Yeah, I think Lava can pick. Lava plays Lissandra, right?
Even the best Lissandra players aren't beating Chovy.
I've seen him play that before.
Plus, Freddy Briand don't necessarily want to show Lissandra early in this draft, and if they're trying to run a Zeri comp, they don't really want Lissandra anyways, so might actually really mess with how Freddy Briand decided, or we're planning on playing the second part of this phase. The Viego is still open.
Yeah, just pick it. Don't think too much.
Gen.G with the Ari.
Yeah.
As we move
Just pick it.
Red side will be the Zeri.
Yeah, is there a Rakan available if they want to go there?
They must be thinking it's like, ah shit, Gen.G is baiting them into picking Zeri, but other than Zeri, who else are you gonna pick?
Pick Lissandra, man. What?
Victor has been
Pick
very popular
anything.
into the Ari. Chovy was actually
This
the first
immobile
player
little
to
shit.
into the Ari and says, "Oh, I can play
I-
this a lot." I think it's a really nice matchup. Don't know if Lava will find the same success here, but it's also been a pick he's been playing a lot of Crown on,
I mean, even Faker picked Lissandra against Ari when they fight RNG.
And Lehen's now with this
Oh
ballistic
my
pool,
god.
so many
Oh
other
baby.
offside of the map.
Oh, they
powers
stop
the
it. Okay.
Shao pick. So I like this, response here from.
Didn't they say Lava is the LOL
also
king?
gives Gen G the opportunity to ban away the Rakan and the Alistar, right?
Was it Lava?
Take away from a lot of that
See?
engage potential.
LMA
When you
okay.
have a Victor,
Let
right,
now.
you kind of want to have a lot of extra CC.
They actually banned Vi was not the problem last game, okay?
Necessarily enough. You can, I guess, interrupt things with Chaos Storm, but otherwise, Victor is largely just a nuke bot, just sitting there with a whole bunch of damage relatively consistently.
They're not gonna ban
Nah.
Na.
Be the ban here.
Yeah, alternatively, I was going to say banning an engaged top, but
If they're not banning Na, I think Genji will pick it. Oh, they ban Gwen for sure, it will be a Na
of
already.
course have the pick priority here.
The champ pool is not good.
To be taken away in that regard, but doesn't look like that's the blind matchup they want to look for here. Will be the Gnar to come through.
Yep.
And for Fred Brion here, I mean, it gets a little bit uncomfortable from this point on because you need a tank. You need a front
What
line
do they
of
need?
some sort.
Top
Maybe
and
Aloy is gonna cut it into what
support.
Fred Brion have in terms of raw
They,
damage
they
output,
legit
hard
thought
to
Gwen
gauge,
was the
but it's
problem
also-
when
so I like an
all
opening
5
here
of
to
them
look
just
for
run
Breath
into her.
push
Like,
your way through a lot of the CC
they
of,
did.
of
Gwen and Vi did
Like
nothing until that point.
On against Na, I don't really
and then
like.
scale up better. Like the ornaments on Victor and Zarya too.
Hey, look, there's your favorite support.
Oh no!
Ooh,
No!
this is a greedy one.
Please
but
don't.
I
Oh.
certainly think that
No.
it could work out. My issue with this pick is not how it works in this draft, but that
Oh,
against a Sivir.
You
Sivir
shit
is
me.
You lose vision control. And
Well, Freddy Brion's comp is very inactive.
Yeah. No, I'm a
Gonna
little bit worried
sit
about
back.
this as well. I thought that
Zeri has no
Blind
engage
Rakan
other
could
than
come in
on.
there to give them that bit of extra CC, and yes, they do have on Poppy, right, which is already
Okay.
a bit of it.
Ah,
But
Scammer.
has been pretty lackluster
Oh, it's the
here in
Skarner
LCK.
Poppy
Often picked just to
counter.
try and get some lane shove back, and Zeri Karma. I mean, Karma does have on the hunt theoretically with Mantra Inspire, right? It's like a poor
You're
man's
picking
version of
a
it.
Karma
So
that's
theoretically
early
can,
game, but you
allow
have
you
a
to
on
as
that's late
quickly
game. Like,
as the Sivir sometimes.
On and Zeri, that's
But
late
that is
game.
going to be the Skarner locked in here for Peanut.
On
The
Zeri,
target
Victor
pick
as late game.
is absolutely massive.
you pick a support that's early game.
Skarner
Like,
gets the impale,
Uh.
and Sivir just deletes
Ah.
Joey's help, and
I mean, they want to increase Zeri's move speed, but why the hell would you pick Karma for that?
That's the name of the game right now
Like,
with these
pick-
elemental breaks and that first
I don't know,
Even
pick
now-
Renata
even
or
Nam-
something.
means that,
Nami.
it's a really
Even
tough
Nami
fight
is
to
better
take
if you
because
want
Sivir
move
doesn't
speed
have the
buff.
Kraken Slayer at that point, so adding the Trundle, if he hits level 6, gets subjugate, that can actually turn the fight for you, but instead they're just looking for mid to late team fight.
Wait, Genji's the tiger logo, is it like from the old, like, the Overwatch there was one, like the Korean tigers or some shit? Was it them?
Yeah lah. They're the same company.
Or is it Seal Tigers or some
Don't
shit?
dislike the pick at all.
No
here. I think
dynasty.
Genji have a much stronger draft overall this
Oh,
time
baby.
around in game 2 than game 1, where in game 1 we were like nameplates.
Xinjia,
Fred Brion
Crayon
was sick.
Xinjia.
This time around I'm leaning a little bit Genji's way.
Yeah, I'm also on the Genji train just a little bit, although Skarner has had his fair share of troubles.
Oh,
Yumi
baby.
already.
Peanut is one of our
What?
Flash R
They
players.
banned Yumi
That's
already, right?
exactly
Ah,
how
yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen a lot of Zeri compositions,
Right, did Brion
get this
ban
used.
Yumi, but they picked
Skarner
Zeri?
runs
Okay
in
lah,
very,
good
very
lah,
fast,
good lah.
and the Zeri
You
can't
nerf
really do
yourself.
anything about it.
You handicap
But
yourself.
still,
That's
certainly a lot of opportunities here and a
very
lot of extra CC to allow the power of friendship to shine forth.
Genji is very simple to execute team fight.
Get to game number 2.
Yeah, baby.
Genji is playing the same style again. It's just everybody dive in, just different champions.
Fred Brion fans, you can tell that there aren't quite as many, but each individual Fred Brion fan
Genji
is
is
so
still
loud,
playing the same
that
style.
I think it's actually relatively even here. In Lol Park, as far as the fan
Ruler
chants are
press
concerned.
R, Chovy press
Here we are,
R,
Genji on the
Peanut
red
go
side,
in,
seeing
Doran
whether they
go
can
in.
get to 21 wins and 3 losses. And
bro,
Fred
it's the
Brion
same
wants to
shit
get
as last
fourth
game.
Red side loss.
Very peculiar, the start here for Frederick Brion. Much slower out of the gate.
Personally, think Poppy is quite broken in Dragon fights if they know how to use him.
Just trying to hide vision on the delayed start here so nobody is spotted.
That's why they use Skarner to counter.
Versus Sivralulu if they do
How does Skarner counter Poppy?
Super high. Mantra is available early and
If you time it right, the Skarner ulti is gonna pull Poppy when the Poppy ulti hit him. Basically taking Poppy away with the Skarner. They both fly together.
It's like really specific situation.
Getting to work on these minion waves. As Ruler, now with his Ricochet able to execute minions, can be happy about that. The fact that it doesn't do quite as much damage will mean that the amount of push advantage that we've seen in these Sivir versus Zeri lanes
Hannah actually has 5 wins.
Pronounced, which could allow
wait, how did he have 5 wins?
Ruler's just doing battle here.
Oh, maybe 5 game wins.
Gotta be careful about trading up or trading down.
Well, Doran is 12-1, okay?
Sivir is a good matchup into the Zeri, as we've seen so many times.
So you give Doran his best champion.
It's not a free win in terms of just auto-attacking 2 people. Yep. Lava, he said, this is why we pick victory.
Oh no, he missed a
minion. The early parts, Chovy was on the other side of this matchup earlier this season.
100 wins.
Going very well for the victor, of course.
Yeah, able to get a lot of shove, and we're looking at Chovy's 100% win rate.
That's because he's the only one that plays aggressive.
Underneath this turret, Peanut is going to wrap around after clearing his top
go.
side. May have to flash here.
Well,
Chovy
he's
taking
dead
a lot of
again.
damage. However, Peanut's going to turn up. That's a beautiful charm. Orbit Deception's going to get the flash.
Why did he run back?
Peanut, didn't want to risk heading into
Why did Peanut run back though?
A Poppy lying in wait. Not going to get punished. However, Lava will stay alive even though he
was going to be a big chase, but
you don't know where the Poppy is. You flash forward like that could be a disaster. You know, even with the victor that low.
I don't get why they always have to flash after they get hit.
Okay, this is not a fight you want to be taking.
Yeah, does manage to claim the Crystal Spire.
That's massive.
This is not a good invade.
Yeah. Hands coming on over. 2v2 is going to come on through here as the
Karma
will connect. And Delight is going to put on even more damage here. Gets a Mantra Q
okay,
over.
that's...
Finds an Extendo Beam. Big win here as Umpty manages to come through and steal away the jungle from the Skarner.
Yeah, this is a pretty big swing here, bottom side of the map-wise, as Karma and the Zeri going to get a little bit more lane control, turn that into an advantage here. Peanut losing some of his farm, and this is really unfortunate for a Skarner who really just wants to race to level 6. We've seen very low impact from the Skarner in the early game. You know, this time he was, of course,
it looks better for Frederick Brion right now.
Yep, I was having a bit of a giggle because Morgan's counterplay to the Gnar being forward was stand in that brush and do absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Sometimes that's how you have to do it.
Yeah. Yep. Doing less is more sometimes, guys. Learn from the Lord. As Doran just going to dive onto the Horn a little bit, but capable of soaking up a bit of harassment here is the good old Horn.
Chovy's going to come over here and push Umpty out because Lava's wave is pushed through. He just teleported back, so this means that Peanut will not get double scuttled. I think this is a really nice assist here from Chovy. Doran also over here.
Yep.
And this is what the prio in this lane is going to get you on the top side of the map, because otherwise you get double scuttled as Peanut. You're really starting to fall behind on the map where, you know, the Poppy is strong pre-6, you are not as the Skarner.
Yeah, Lahen's
everything's pretty even.
That cannon does go away from Henna.
Yeah, that was crazy how well Ruler and Lahen's played to zone him out of that and make sure he couldn't get it. He just barely was denied it.
Yeah. Does mean now that Genji will be able to get his wave shoved up. A couple of long swords here for Ruler, not going to give him all of the wave clear that he wants, but definitely gives him more than what Henna has. So as you can see, the Sivir doing some Sivir things. Doesn't quite get the boomerang at the right ebb on that one. But still, Genji find themselves exactly the amount of push that they want.
Yeah, knowing that they could see the Poppy, of course, top side is pretty massive for this bottom push. They know they can actually push the issue here really hard and are not under any gank threats. Peanut, of course, top side too. So it's just straight up an isolated 2v2. And Henna and Delight didn't know at that moment in time where Peanut was. So they actually have to even be careful about trading back. As you can see, Ruler is running out of mana here. We'll be able to take it back with this push pretty soon.
Oh.
And, you know, first Drake is up, but like we've talked about so much in just the first game here and on the pre-show, not really a early Drake meta. And we're seeing less souls taken in all regions on this patch too, because it just takes so long to get that first Drake.
Yep.
And this would be no exception.
Especially when it's Ascana and a Poppy here as well, who don't necessarily, we don't have the Olafs, you know, they're just not there. And Gen.G are going to rotate over now and look to potentially at least get some control of this area. A bunch of pings coming through from Fredabreon. They're not wanting to give this one away for free, as Lahens might just be able to stop it back, but no, decides to let him go home.
Yeah, he doesn't have vision of Karma. If he knew the Karma was backed already or something like that, could have actually flashed for the delay, and then they commit, delay that back, and then grab a Drake. But otherwise, he's just going to walk it out here, and now Delight is unfortunately caught under this turret here, and it's going to be Umpty trying to start up Drake, it looked like there on the minimap. I think he made the right choice to not do so, considering how little control they have of this part of the map right now.
He's actually going to come through and have a look for Chovy
Oh,
here. Spirit
shit.
Rush is available. He is
Oh,
going
push nice.
him out of there.
Too good. And
Oh.
Lava will
That's
pick
a
up
nice
first
interrupt.
blood against Chovy Zari.
Yeah, really nicely played here from
timing.
the steadfast presence.
Flash, just flash, bro. The fuck?
Doesn't have his ult. However, he does get a stun. Great little sidestep from Peanut.
He's
but
saving
still
his
they need to
flash
do some more
until
damage.
next
Ruler
year,
flashes.
baby. Oh my
Will be
god.
able to pick up the kill. The Ornhorn comes down though, and Ruler is punished for the
Did he flash so late?
Gen.G find themselves
That's
still
what
in
I
a
mean.
deficit.
Yeah, that was a really
Fuck, they're trying to
impressive
bait
play
them.
from Ruler. Flashes for it. Has Spell Shield, of course, available, but take your W's where you can get them. You don't
Imagine
have to force a
disrespecting
trade
the
up
number
like this.
one
You could just walk away and be like, all right,
seed.
well, we lost somebody here, but that's okay. And the steadfast presence was really well played from
I mean,
Umpty.
they got a
Ended up
kill,
choking
but
away.
yeah.
But Fredabreon, you know, I guess the idea why Ruler looks for this is he's so nervous that with this Herald spawning that Fredabreon is going to have that extra prio with Chovy being down and teleportless, and they'll take it down.
The head's
But
blocking
they don't
the
have
what the
damage
heck,
to do that
the
just yet. This is
the
a
tower
big
goal,
Zeri
the
comp.
plate.
They will, of course, be able to potentially force a team fight. Well, they're not going to be able to sneak a Herald under your, out from under your eyes. So Ruler losing a little bit of control here in the bottom side, because not only does he lose flash.
Why is the
with
Victor
this
always
play,
so damn
he will, of
close
course,
to the
spend a lot
Ari?
of
That
time away
shouldn't
from lane.
happen.
So Zeri picking up a 15 CS advantage right now
I mean, like,
is pretty massive. As we go all the way back to Umpty, holding for this one, goes over here, does have the flash available.
He's saving flash for next year
Easy
anyway.
for Umpty to actually pull this off, considering how far Chovy was up in the lane.
The thing is, he actually used flash, but it's like
Beautiful
those
timing as
going
well
to
in the
die
cross
with your
presence,
flash.
Because I thought the Spirit Rush would
He,
just be able
he
to
died
use
after
it
using
out of
it
there. Sidestep in
immediately.
from Peanut was nice,
He
but
should have
Doran
flashed as
not
soon
being
as
able to stick around.
right
I think
after
was the death nail here
Peanut
for
slowed
Ruler,
him.
and
We
Morgan
should
getting a
have
fantastic
already just
rotation
flashed.
over. And just calls the Ram to help them grab that kill follow-up. So Lava does fall. However, 2 plates to the Zeri. And you can see, Fredabreon, they have...
Actually, do you think Zeri actually needs like a support that boosts her attack speed? I mean movement speed? You think that's actually important?
He stayed even, he had that rotation over to pick up an assist, and Herald is
Yes.
before. Yeah.
This time
Because
Peanut does
the-
have his ult available. That impale
Because Zeri's
up,
are
secures
also
his
increases
blue
her
buff
move
at
speed.
least. And now Fredabreon looking to take some
You need
control of the
to
river. This,
run
Ocean
around
Snake has
kite.
been sitting here for a very long time.
That's the whole thing
Fredabreon
about
would love to
Zeri.
actually get
I
both if
feel like they
can
could have
right
picked
now. Obviously, the
Nautilus
top
and
side
it
fight
would
is
be
going to be
okay.
advantageous for them because they have the Call of the Forge God coming back up. Lava's going to be able to do a lot in this fight. Obviously, Umpty going to have ult too.
Nautilus or
Very
maybe
much
do
more
like what
harder composition to fight on
T1
Umpty
does
as
and just pick
here.
TK.
But I
That's
think
also
the fact
fine.
that the Drake is just so hard
Oh
to
yeah,
take
her
to the stage,
protector
makes it
is also
difficult for Fredabreon to try to commit to both.
I think,
I think
yeah,
the
Nautilus
better
can
option
sort
would
of
be
do
to just
that.
grab that extra
Just
gold
protect
top
Zeri.
side. They already have a lot of scaling in this comp. They don't need to force Drake fights in their favor.
It's 10-minute Drake,
Decisiveness, though,
baby.
in that
Not
regard
even.
so far
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, haven't seen Peanut go for any of these flash plays either. Hex Flash is still disabled, by the way, guys, just to let you know, as Chovy's going to
Oh,
get
what?
Chaos Storm.
Oh,
He doesn't want to ult, isn't going to
Okay.
need to, as Chaos Storm doesn't go too fast at this point in the game. Umpty is going to be taking the Drake, while Peanut takes himself the Rift Herald. See whether Doran does rotate down there to grab himself some extra money. He's lit on fire for a moment, as Hannah's skating on in.
Oh,
as
damn.
Ruler has his spell shield. Delight ignites him, but Ruler is just able to run around in circles a little bit, and that is going to completely dissipate any aggression. Umpty on this Drake, unable to help out for now.
Oh, they
but,
baited,
both
like-
of these teams able to pick up a neutral objective each. Peanut actually getting the local gold by himself. which
They
isn't
tried
the greatest,
something.
but that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's a... No, could have, you know, benefited quite significantly from the extra goal, but he wanted to continue to push and keep.
Now has Trinity
Force.
Force.
Peanut's going to come over here, still away at Gromp. He's getting a lot of money. He's getting accelerated a little bit in this game. It's a Skarner, so, you know, what does that really mean? Not a whole lot, unfortunately, for Peanut.
FTP
I think that
top 4 on
here,
this.
you could have tried to force one.
Wait, there's nothing on the map right now.
Comp is way stronger at this point before the Kraken Slayer's up for ruler. You have Ornhorn.
Nice mid, dude. I think they're looking for.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Lava is just going to get
Oh,
impaled.
he is
He
so
is really
dead.
dead, guys. Does have Flash just coming off cooldown, but it's off cooldown as he enters the death chamber. That's a great heroic
Even
shot,
getting the
though.
kill is not
Through
that
and Doran
good.
is traded.
Okay,
Out of
nice.
position there. Really nice punishment. And Fred Brion, they've been able to take something back every time Genji's gone for a play.
Exactly. See if Henna can get out of this one, though.
Yeah, does ult as Lahen's not wanting to tank this turret for too long, but he's
Oh, God.
so. Wild Growth comes through as Ruler's trying to trade this one back. Peanut's coming down, but Lahen's going to get the bad news. He's going to have to flash here to get himself out of the way. Stendo beam. It's not going to be enough, but
The one-time karma does a play.
pick it up.
It's starting to look less and less likely tonight's going to be the big 3,000.
How does Peanut arrive
Unfortunately, taking way too
BRO?
much of that turret. Then, of course, a really nice follow-up play from Fredit Brion. They use the extendo beam.
That shouldn't make sense. They're on their side.
He ends up getting hit by it, but the slow is a big problem, so he kites left.
Oh, he overextended.
Flash Mantra Q to finish him off. Really well played there from Delight, who will pick up the kill in the end. Luckily for Genji, it's not the Zeri who does end up getting this. But man, Fredit Brion are just winning these out. Like these out trades, I guess. Is the
Bro
best
might have a
where
chance
every
to
time
win.
Genji tries to be proactive, Fredit Brion, like you said, are trading up, and
It's not like top lane's doing bad either. Somehow it's
scaling
even.
aspects of both of these compositions, it's definitely leaning towards Fredit Brion, who already have that extra Drake buffer. With the amount of control they have over the map right now, too, the Herald isn't going to.
Ah, shit, here we go again.
Well, this time Lava has his flash. Charm is going to connect there as well. Orbit Deception just the tip, and that is a dead victim.
Wow, mid lane's getting bullied.
He has flash, he doesn't use it. What?
A couple of members of Fredit Brion, and he puts down Shelly to look to
He-
really
does
put
he
Genji
think he's
in the lead. They
tanky
know
or
how to
what?
do so. Chovy collects a bunch
He's a
more money as
victor, he's
well.
not a tank.
And
What?
in that instant, Genji claimed the advantage.
They're gonna
again.
lose because of
Finally,
mid lane, I
Genji
swear to
really
God.
trades up and only up in this one. Able to get Lava there with a really nice charm from Chovy.
They're gonna
as
lose
Chovy
this game
retreats,
because of
realizing there's a chance there's a turn. The
No
other
one's
side,
de-
Morgan's gonna
no one's
overwhelm,
defending
so
mid.
Gets the charm, doesn't follow
Oh,
up.
God.
But I thought this was really beautifully played here.
The
Lava,
poppy
this
be
is
like,
really
her
good
turn,
stretch.
go back to
Unfortunately, he's just
jungle.
way too far
The
forward
fuck?
without any vision. Morgan should have called out, hey, I have no idea where Doran is.
this was when his flash is
Doran
down.
just chases forward here and ends up getting ulted. That's really unlucky. And then Lahen's here, let's see. Grabs aggro and then just does
Lava
not go
is actually
around
so
the top rush
shit.
there because he's scared he's going to get caught by somebody else. Wild growths, and then this is where it gets really nasty because he has flash, uses it over the wall here, but has to go left because of Extendo. I think if he gets hit by Extendo, he doesn't die, but the slow kills him, so you lose there either way. And then Lava here, look at Chovy. Gets the charm as he kites
Like,
back.
you
He's
got slow, just flash.
I love the
What?
distance Chovy has there. He's just perfectly out range of even getting slowed by the Ornhorn. That's some big gamer brain right there.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Like, what is Lava waiting for?
You could imagine that there
Waiting
was like
for
a split
Santa to
second
come for
where Lava
Christmas,
could have
is it?
potentially flashed towards the end
for
of
sure.
that fight, but wanted to get as much damage down onto Peanut before he flashed away, and that was his demise in the end. But still, means that the victor will have his flash available for the next potential battle, possibly in 50
It doesn't
seconds' time
matter
as
if you
this
do
Cloud
more
Drake is
damage, he
going.
won't die from that. Hell,
Genji,
just
go up down,
flash.
this blue buff and Delight lying in wait to try and catch someone rotating over. It's Chovy
Like,
that
what,
claims
like, what are the casters
Yeah,
talking
a lot of free
about?
push here for Henna right now. And he's going to have that bottom side prio. And, I mean, Umpty's here. He's got ult flash.
it's a lot
This
of
is
Like, sometimes I
don't
swear
think
Wolf's
Genji should
analysis is
realistically
sometimes
be
just
able to
wrong.
force a fight over this. Doran
Wolf
on the
is
top side
probably the
position,
worst out of all of
teleport.
them.
But this is when you've got to be decisive, Fredit Brion. You know, in 20 seconds
He's
to
like,
go,
oh,
you're
he's
way too early
he's
on the
holding
setup for
flash
this
because he
objective.
wants to
You
do
need
as
look
much
for a
damage as
pick or
possible.
find
Bro,
something
Peanut
else.
doesn't die even if he does
Again,
all
Genji
his
cannot get in
damage.
here until they get that mid prio from Chovy. Now,
Peanut's like
fight is
full
on.
tank.
Well, Peanut is
Yeah,
looking
lah,
for
he
his
doesn't
way in.
die.
He's a predator.
So
Oh.
why the hell would you
Humpty
say flash
flashes
for?
first. Chovy is going to have to try and get out
Wow.
of his steadfast presence.
Oh.
He's going to allow that
Oh.
kill to come
Damn,
through.
son.
Both of them
That's the
just
combo.
no solo lanes for you, Genji. And Fred Brown can now take whatever they want.
That's the decisive call I was looking for. That's the moment where you realize, okay, Fred and Brion know their win conditions around this Drake fight. They have the better setup. And yes, mid-Spio pushes through. Chovy thinks he's free to rotate over. That's when you collapse. That's the
Now look what Ruler can do without his team.
Of course, at the cost of a little bit of bottom push here. But
All he
Morgan
can do
tidy
is
that
farm.
up on his own. Really well played here from Fred Brion. Now a 2
To be fair, Sivir doesn't have any initiate tools, not like Aphelios.
The Victor, the Zeri, the Ornn
The
composition.
good thing about Sivir is like
just off the
야
bat
이거 여기에서 바로
of this
싸면
aggressive
얘네가 먼저
play.
나 천천히 볼게
Then
이거
you think,
아래쪽
okay,
볼게
we can
아리
rotate
아리
over.
아리
Ult comes through.
He delayed his R.
And they're calling to hold bottom.
But the
Oh, baby,
all
baby.
the information out as Lava is being picked on. This is bullying in the
Why
zone
would he
right there.
flash
However,
now?
he's got friends,
Wait,
and he's
actually,
going to be shielded up by Delight. He'll be
he actually
absolutely
flashed
fine.
finally.
As Genji going to back away, Henna is still just trying to fight this one out.
But he
And
flashed
Fred
late
Brion
again.
able to stand their ground now.
Fred Brion in a really nice spot in this game. Chovy's going to get a whole turret, which is...
There's a reason why they
does
just
when they fall
bully the
behind. In
Victor
rare
because
cases
he's
they do.
damn
They say,
stupid.
all right, Chovy, well, they take him off the leash. They're like, all right, take all the farm. We'll leave this one up to you.
They
in the
dog
mid-game.
power on the
So
Victor
far, he's
because
getting
they
a
know
lot of
he
value.
saves
He's not
flash
really
for
interrupted.
Christmas.
Almost gets halfway
The
through
Victor has a
before
shield too, right?
he has to come back.
The
It's,
Q-la.
Chovy may have to ult, and he does so. Gets over the wall,
But this
and
means-
Shirley is going to be started here by Fred Brion.
Yeah, the timing of this for Genji, I think the idea is Chovy puts
Peanut
down that
just
side,
went back to
he rotates
base.
over. They look for a team fight. But unfortunately, they're not at full health. You know, Peanut's back is interrupted. They're all a bit disjointed here. And now with the wave crashing through on mid, this is going to be a free Herald here. And
Where's the Ornn?
unfortunately, Genji, yeah, they're going to get this bottom turret, but the second
Ornn
Herald,
is in the
it's a
jungle.
beefy one.
What?
It just slows
What
the
is
game
that
down so
pathing?
significantly. Doran
It
is
just-
Why is
deny
he-
some CS, but it's
What?
a cannon wave, so not
Why
much
is he
too
taking the-
impactful here. An empty bodyguard.
He can
for
save
Lava.
the
They grab
turret,
second
why-
Herald
why-
here and might be able to drop it if they could turn a fight.
Yeah, you got Chovy.
What a
going
good
up, looking to
downy.
get rid of all of these minions. Will be able to do so. Is now
Oh, the ult didn't even, it's not even
on the
close.
hunt, Not
Huh?
available. Does have his flash. But Fred
What?
Brion have no minions. They're against a Scylla.
The Zeri ult
so
was-
therefore,
didn't even hit
taking down
Ruler.
This turret is a difficulty.
It hit.
Chovy still just
It
looking
is.
to
It hit, it-
clean
it just
his
didn't do
ways
much
over and
damage.
Over again. Has managed to lock it down and is now looking for a back timing. Peanut will find Umpty there as we can see this 2v2 moving over towards the mid lane.
Lava just has so much power, so much backup here on the top side.
Yeah.
And Victor versus an Ahri, it's hard for the Ahri to all in.
Well, now Henna and Delight are taking so much damage from Ruler. He
What?
does get snared. Henna hops over the wall, but Ruler gets the wild growth.
What?
He
Why
takes
is that
a
flash?
shot, though. Takes
Oh
two
my
of them.
God.
And Henna the locks down the kill. Now
Correct.
Doran is going to punish him.
Oh!
But another Inspire Shield comes out from
Oh.
Delight. I take
Oh,
back
finally
everything I said
the
about
Karma
Karma's the best
Shield
champion
does
in the game. And Chovy's up here clearing up mini waves once again. But that's one more time Fred Brion winning a fight.
Oh,
One more time
Chovy,
they
if
break
it-
the Fred Brion
if it
trade
wasn't-
up, and
if it
Lava
wasn't
almost gets
Chovy,
a
I
whole
would have
turret
flamed
here
him
on the
already.
at the same time. So
What
two
is the Banshee
outer
second
turrets
item?
very low here. As we're going to go back to this moment here, Lava slowed and pulled over by the Impale, flashes out.
Hey,
Henna
look,
comes
he has
over,
flash.
has a lot of
I mean, to
damage
be
here.
fair, I would
The
have
fire
flashed
shield
that
is
late
massive.
as
Then
well.
They decide to fight this one out, and I think this was
I would have flashed as soon as I see him running in.
from Ruler. This has so much damage here. I love that Henna's not afraid. They have the backup here from Morgan. This is just really good shot calling overall from Frederick Brion saying,
Oh,
"All right,
the
if they're gonna
shield.
push this,
Oh,
we can actually
oh,
trade
oh.
something back," as
The
it has
shield
been
ball.
so many times. The Mantra shield does come through to keep him alive. Trade up, almost getting two turrets there, both of which will be standing gold on the map here for Frederick Brion.
Like, why
to
would
catch
you
up
build
to Genji,
Banshees
but
against
it's
a
the
Victor
scaling
that can
aspect
just
of this
easily
competition
disable
that
him?
Genji should be most worried about here. Azeri already has her Phantom Dancer online.
Woo,
Was
man.
given a free pass
This-
to that second item.
This
Look.
Yeah, no,
game.
exactly right.
The
I
shield
think
is
as far as
down
two items
because of
are
Karma
concerned, I
Q.
think Ruler is a little bit stronger with the fact that he does have that Kraken Slayer
Even
for
if
the
it's not
extra
Karma
damage.
Q,
But
Victor's
still, he
range
can't
is
be
easy
walking
enough
up and
to
taking
poke.
two turret shots.
Yeah.
Trying to kill Delight that doesn't
Everyone's
even go
out
down.
reserve.
Not to mention that, I mean, yeah, I agree with you. 100% Ruler is definitely spiking harder right now, but you still have two Drakes of buffer to get into before you can threaten.
Yeah.
Oh!
Well, Ruler is in Ruler position and he's dead. This is
Oh,
some,
that's it. Nice.
very
Umdi got that
interesting
flash
play.
smash
Through
down.
Genji. We haven't seen this out of Ruler. Certainly
That
making some
that
mistakes.
instant
He
As
pull.
you
has
say,
done it
Genji
quite a
trying
few
to hold
times,
on to
at least
mid
twice
wave.
this
Inner
game.
turret is in trouble as
Now
Chovy
they are
gonna hop on
inting
over,
for
grab
tower.
the
No, what the
deny
fuck?
entry. And that is a
No, I
dead
think they
turret
can get
now.
tower.
Fred
Or
Get out, get
on
out,
it.
get out,
walking
get the
Oh.
backup.
Grouped up as 5, and they can do this
They have
so
no damage.
confidently.
They only have Chovy, and Chovy is not
They
a
need to
hit.
pick out one guy before the ruler comes back. Try to pick up one guy.
Tougher to do so, of course, on this patch, but the Drake damage itself is nerfed, so someone could hold that
To be
aggro.
fair, I think Ruler is the only one they need to kill. Because Chovy's Ari right now
Oh,
doesn't
Peanut,
have
Peanut,
damage.
Peanut.
Out of this gravity field as well.
Hey, kill Dora, man. What the fuck?
Just
Why did he
trying
jump
to
over?
stop them from killing his Skana. Death Ray is going to do a
Oh.
lot of work, and now Chovy and Ruler find themselves together. All right. Genji grouped back up as 5. The health bars have been in better order in the past. And now Extendo being
Shouldn't start this, they're in a bad position.
Oh, Morgan, what are you doing,
They
man?
can't take all of
Fuck.
this free damage. They're going to have to back away. And Genji
What?
is
They're
going to pick
giving-
up the aggro on this Drake. Fred at
What?
Breon.
They
Oh,
dropped
man.
the ball.
Yeah, they
dropped
did.
the ball. And they are able to kill Ruler. They have the Drake controlled, but they don't start it early.
No,
They're
they
forced
didn't
to
need to
fight
start the
around these
fight.
points.
They didn't need to start
Really
Dragon.
being
Are you
offered to
kidding
Moment is
me?
lands an extendo beam, but there's no follow-up.
Lava
There's
has
mutual
no
damage.
mana,
The rest
and
of the team
then
is
Morgan
not
has no
engaged.
HP, so that's why they back.
The, step drop. It's alright.
Why is the random referral here?
But,
Huh?
yeah, it happens. Time's out, I guess.
It's about to time out, though.
So, the pick on to Ruler here is so important until it isn't, because Fred and Breon use all of their tools.
Why didn't they use
before
it
starting the
earlier?
Drake. Start the Drake first, and then
The
watch
Rift
them
Herald,
walk
like,
at
what?
you, then
Who
you
had the
force
Rift
fight
Herald?
on
I'm
the
not
choke
sure.
point. That's how
They
you
could
do
have
it.
dropped
If
it
you
mid
force
lane
one
just
away from
now,
the Drake, and then once Ruler's
when
back,
Ruler
or
died.
Genji is up and has better ultimates
Right.
than you, then you start the Drake.
Why am I
That's
looking
not
at?
the way. Genji will win the fight. We'll take their first Drake of the game. A lot of the momentum here for Fred and Breon now lost. I think Fred and Breon were so used to.
I think it's almost not worth to give Rift Herald like for nothing, for no towers.
Okay, we come to Drake.
It's actually more gold for the enemy team. I'd rather not put the Rift Herald if I feel like I won't get a tower goal.
Ways to buy time, especially when you're ulting an orb.
Imagine if Genji gets 4 Infernal Drakes because of Bro's poor macro.
It just wasn't quite enough, and then they ran out of buttons and couldn't really fight after everything was sort of reset.
But at least Zeri right now is
very
bad.
comfortably 50 CS in the lead now.
Chovy's build is
Side
quite
lane,
useless.
Once again, a thing that Genji very
Why does he-
capable of with this
why
season.
does he have
Ari affording them that one,
Dark
alongside
Steel
the Gnar very effectively.
when he's behind?
We'll see whether
What?
Fred and Breon have an answer for it, because they still have a slight gold advantage, but as we crest, you know,
Why does he
55
build
minute
like
mark and things
this?
like this, it's going to mean less and less. As Ruler possibly caught out.
I mean,
does
at
have his
least-
spell shield. It's not actually procced,
What is that
as he takes
random
a lot of damage and the slow from Delight towards the
He
end.
didn't,
there.
Oh,
he
yeah.
didn't have vision.
We'll get out.
Well, here's what you say, Ruler has bad positioning in mid lane. That's what you said
He
earlier.
always gets caught around that area, mid lane, the river, exactly middle of the map.
Unfortunately, for Fred and Breon, despite pushing the 80 carry out and Doran being down here, he has teleport anyways. So it's really quite a lull.
I'm telling you,
going into
without
right
his
now.
team,
And
I'm
in some ways,
telling you,
this
Ruler
favors the
might
scaling comp
might
for
just
everyone, but
be
it has
as
to be
bad
the
as
right team.
Kumayushi.
Compass doesn't win by default because the game goes later. Has
Bec-
to be everybody's grouped
The
up.
way I
Has to
see
be
it, they're
able to
both
use
the same type of
together
ADCs
as looking for a pick.
in terms of how they play.
Oh, they're gonna catch. Oh, flash. Okay.
That's
And so now without a flash,
That's
definitely
worth,
far
I
less
guess.
scary. Moving into the next
Next
fight,
team
whatever
fight that
may
won't
be.
have
Baron
flash.
is available, has been for 4 or so minutes, but with the game state
Okay,
this
the
close,
problem is
very difficult for
Bro
anyone
actually
to
gonna close this
to
game
really
up.
lock that one down. And Peanut has flash, Predator, Chem Tank, like Henna has to be very,
OV
very
is
careful. He does not
building-
have the ability to get out of that CC.
what?
by
And-
Void
Kemet as he
Staff.
wants it.
That met. Oh yeah, voice that.
Doesn't have it yet.
Genji
Void Staff third item is not that good, especially with this build where he has no
have this choke point controlled, and this is when
he has
AO
no
value
AP.
goes through the
His
roof.
AP is not
He needs
high.
to walk at a Skarner, trying
I feel
It's not like he's building
Give
aggressive. He's
things
Isn't
building
Shadow
defense.
Shadow Flame's like 100 times better.
Zeri are closely
Yeah lah,
behind.
Shadow Flame is 100
Zeri
times
at this
better.
stage
Almost everyone
very
has a
close to
shield.
the IE, but not
If
close
you
enough
want-
yet. We'll need probably
If
about,
you want to
20 or
build
so
Void
more
Staff,
seasons
at least
before
build
Hannah will
after
be able to
Shadow
pick
Flame.
that one up. Ruler, on the other hand, still also halfway to his third item, but this is where things can
I
really
mean, it's
start to go
cheaper,
for
but
Genji.
it's not
If
what you
Hannah can
buy.
actually start to
If you have the
consistently
money.
damage before a fight starts. Not
There's a
so
reason
with,
why it's
set up
cheaper.
CC, but then that's all he does.
It doesn't
Unfortunately,
give
as he continues
AP.
retreating, Like, I think Fred and Brion haven't even really
it gives less AP.
utilized the advantages they've been given this game just yet, and I do think once that IE is hit for Henna, we'll start to see that come.
Void Staff right now is low AP but high magic penetration.
Very close to recipe completion.
So that's why you don't build it just for AP, you build it after you have AP.
I mean, like, if I remember correctly, it's like 2600 gold for 60 AP. But Shadow Flame is 3000 for 100 AP.
Yeah,
it's like 400 gold difference, but it's a 40 AP difference.
And then Shadow Flame gives 20% magic penetration based on health. Maximum 20%.
Morgan kicks. What? Oh my god.
Might have an angle. The Impale going to be used onto the Honor, and he will be taken down eventually. Umpty now trying to run his way out as Doran was tanking for a very long time. Henna looking for that Zeri angle as Lahens getting out of the way of the extendo beam.
They're gonna lose anyway because their team fight is ass.
Teleport, but Chovy fishes for a charm and he will find it onto lava. Not lethal damage. But still, will get them low, and it's going to make it difficult for Fred and Brion to go for a fight around this break, and they might have to give
your mic has the LCK sound.
Health bars, they are definitely going to have to give this up, and Rulers in mid catching this wave wasn't even involved in that last fight. He just wants the money to
I lowered, yeah, lowered.
In Gen G here, this is what I was talking about with Carnal. You can actually just kill the Orange.
It's just gonna be another 37 minutes, another Dragon Soul again.
Team then turning while you use all that CC, but Doran was there to stop a collapse through, and while Lava and Henna were doing a lot of damage in the choke point,
baby,
they still end up trading back a lot here with Chovy just doing so much in these fights.
He died for what?
Orange gone. Look at the extendo beam here.
Like, why didn't he just flash? What is with bro and saving flashes? He used W instead of flash. Like what? You flash out and then ulti lah.
The ability to actually just straight up carry here without his ultimate.
Like what are they saving flash for?
But Gen G will even up the Drakes.
Exactly, it's just a little bit too little too late as far as Henna's
you save a flash, they get the dragon, that's completely worth it.
See how much respect Fred and Brion had for the Ahri. There was like an orb of
like Genji is playing on the back foot and they still give everything through to Genji. Like bro.
Morgan should just out right now, man.
Why did he kill E?
He's got his Force of Nature and his Thornmail. And he's very,
just
very
do it.
Ornaments starting to be dealt out.
The only time they get a successful fight is when Umpty flash outs, flash smashes someone.
For the first place team, Genji is not playing well. It's just bro just giving them everything.
Just put some big wards and wait for Umpty to initiate.
Umpty and Henna are trying to carry and then Morgan is trolling. Bro.
What?
Morgan and Lava, they're both trolling. When Umpty and Henna are trying to carry.
Oh my god, just out!
Boomerang doing a fair bit of work as well as Chovy is tagged by that extendo beam. There's the flash onto the Zeri though, as Doran's looking to lock her down, and they will be able to take out the hyper carry. It's Chovy that's awarded the kill. Morgan's gonna go
missed
down as well
everybody.
FF15 already, man. What am I looking
at? This fight, absolutely not. And now
what happened to Lord Morgan?
It will be a Baron over to Genji if they want it.
This game, he was just a fat meat for everyone to hit.
He still has flash. He's look at the top left. He still has flash. He just eats all of the CC. Be like, okay, look. Okay, look, I'm tanky. I don't need to flash.
We talked about the tankiness of Peanut. He has Earth Treads, tank, and Force of Nature.
And then they get a Baron that they shouldn't get. Good luck.
You know what? I think I will try to kill this area.
The Karma shield didn't do anything. She's not even shielding him. The shield is immediately broken.
It's not Karma's problem, it's the own problem. Look at him.
And look at all the damage they try to put onto him.
Hey, the second out didn't hit anyone.
No, that's why I say he missed everybody.
All of them, right? I'm already on the
and then he doesn't.
Nobody's getting out of here.
Oh my balls!
A decisive team fight, and Zeri should never be catchable by a Impale at this stage in the game. But when you're trying to make these calls, you're trying to be decisive around Barons. You put yourself at risk against this extremely tanky Skarner. Watch Peanut.
Yeah, that's hear from him. I think he sees his angle.
Wait, why would you E out like that? The on, you just flash out.
Meanwhile, he's doing it again. Yeah, he is not going to find the Zeri, but he finds the
He
Poppy.
pulled
He's gonna
Poppy,
get his
what?
Silver killed, unfortunately. Not sure quite what the...
Okay, Ruler is dead.
Strange situation there. Okay. Sometimes you get the right...
See, I'm telling you, Genji is playing horribly.
Yeah.
But bro plays
this
worse.
one was onto a very tanky Umpty. And that's not the one that you normally want. That was not a Zeri Impale.
I mean, look at T1 versus Bro. T1 smashes Bro.
Yeah.
Right now, Genji is struggling against Bro. Like what?
Sort of happened. As, great gravity field placement.
Why would you pull Poppy though?
It'd be like, oh, thank you.
The gravity field slows him down,
Smash.
and Umpty's like, you guys are going to try to kill me. Where's your damage? Where's the rest of your team?
I mean, Chovy and Doran were bottom lane, I think.
Yeah. So, bit of a thinker there.
Yeah.
Ruler's positioning is really shit right now.
No, exactly.
But then people won't hesitate to say, oh, he's the best ADC in LCK right now.
I think the rule. Henna has a lot
Because Guma is not.
And we're looking for IE for Ruler.
That's the reason why he's the best ADC.
Lock down that item. Choby's feeling himself. He's got 5 pages in his Magi Soul Stealer that he just upgraded to. And he's got a stopwatch as well. We're looking for the next fight. And it's going to be around this Drake. 14 seconds on the Infernal. As Fred at Brion, I'm going to have to deal with
It's just
Crystal
just out, man. It's okay if you miss.
It's going to be trying to take that one away.
It's just use it before you die, man.
Fight with his Death Ray.
Just
Look at how fast Peanut is with all the help from his friends.
They're in a choke point already. Just
do
it.
Lava has red buff and he's very
they're in
far
a
back.
choke.
This time, Peanut's not gonna look for a flash blade.
What's he
Have
waiting
flash.
for, man?
Zeri's moment.
It's in a straight line. It's a 3-man ulti at least. Oh, they just see, that's the combo. That's the counter.
Wallop connects onto Henna, who then immediately has to flash to get himself out of the way. But it's Morgan that's going to be going down first. Chovy's dancing.
Henna is safe for now.
The
Never mind.
rest of his team, however, are just evaporating. Sometimes you go for the Zeri first, and I guess sometimes you wipe out the front line as Lava is going to flash out of the way of that charm, but every other fight is going to connect.
Already,
it's a quadra kill for Chovy in the end.
Chovy played that so perfectly from the flank angle threat to the charm targets. There's so much CC towards Henna, and even though they don't blow him up instantly, they put enough.
Chovy was so far away. The on could have pulled the trigger
a
like
lot of damage in that fight. Ruler gets
10
set up
seconds
by
only.
Chovy, and he spikes the damage in. What a beautiful team fight from Genji. There were certainly some hiccups in this series. There were certainly some poor
This is why they're the worst team.
Moments. Ruler gets caught in the Ruler spot few too many times.
Oh, camouflage.
In the end.
Yeah, and it's all off the back of this mid
Umpty
lane. And Chovy
and-
having an absolutely
Umpty and
awesome
Zeri tried to
performance.
carry
Roller now
this
flashing
dog
to
shit
pad
team.
that KDA just a little bit. And they will be able to lock down a
what
triple
is
kill
that
for the
on,
Simba. But there is the
though?
2-0 for Gen G. But my goodness. Fred
Wasn't
Brown made it
on
work
a
for it.
meta
There was
pay?
some great
How
moments in that
how
game,
does a
but
pro player not
unfortunately,
know how to play
the
on?
crispness of the team fighting for Gen G, those last 2 team fights, were just
Oh
too
boy.
well executed.
He doesn't press R when Genji is in a straight line. What?
But it's Genji just showing that scaling damage numbers don't matter if the scaling of this team's coordination is just already on point.
Right, I'll close the stream. I'll wait until it's at least like 7 PM. Right?
And I think this is another stark reminder.
Wait,
like
can
the
I
team series we had against Saints
show you
last week,
something?
the Damwon
What?
win where they stole
What?
Amos. He will hit
Oh, he
3
manages to
Oh
get
my
us.
barely.
The hands
I think it was
3,000
the last
assists.
3
Holy
kills,
shit.
because I think he was on 4, and now,
3,000.
yeah. So it was
how-
those last 3
how do
kills
I-
from Ruler that allowed him to get those assists.
This is a stark reminder that at the end of regular season, you know, preparation for Genji for Fred Brion not as high as it is going to be in their last series.
Can you see my
playoffs,
screen?
While they're going to be spending so much time getting ready on this patch.
Hey, what?
It's gonna
Because
be
yeah,
around this
sometimes
break,
the games
14
don't look as
It's like,
clean. I think
bruh.
we should read too much into this for Genji. I think more so we should. Has a lot of hope
from it.
Hey, what happened? What?
Most notably Lehens, but on the hunt is going to be available here as well.
Are you still
Yeah, yeah.
seeing my screen?
and he's
Morgan?
Like he should have ulti here. He got the kill here already. He should have out right here. You hit at least 3 people, man.
very
Like what? He doesn't pull the trigger. He's right here. Like what? Look at this shit.
If I'm the
if I'm the on, I ulti here already. You make this Q right here. You put them in the choke point right here, and then he doesn't use it. Like what? He's just walking around right here, like bruh.
Usually, if you see like the enemy flanking, you better go all in already. You better go in if you see Ari coming behind.
Like Chovy is so far away. Chovy is like
they should engage here.
He's down here. He can ulti here already. He cannot. If he has to join, he will have to ulti over the wall. If Morgan starts the fight right now, and then Delight speed everyone, and then Zeri go in, they all die before Chovy can join. And then he doesn't ulti. Like what the fuck? It's a straight line. Look at how slow Chovy is. It's like he's walking here like look at when the Morgan ulti. Like what the fuck? He outs now. When they all run away. Good luck.
And the angle is wrong. You should have outed above where there's at least 3 people above him, right, bro?
Wow, you ulti the hands. Wow, you ulti a Lulu. Like he's gonna do anything.
And
when they're all here already.
Lulu can just flash away, like, bro.
And then he missed also.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck am I looking at?
Are you done? You're done.
It's Lord Morgan, go see Jesus. You need Jesus.
I'm gonna close the stream now. I open it again at 7 later. I mean,
the dude needs.
He1 versus I forgot. Oh, SB, yeah. Thanks for watching. I'll stop now.
Genji plays so bad, and they still win.